Yo, salute. Let's get it. Yo, salute to everybody already here in the building, man. Y'all know what time it is, man. We got another one. And this one is special to me. I got my bro, day one, been here with me, man, since I pretty much started the channel. It's been a minute. This is my little bro. You know what I mean? We're not going to waste any time. He's backstage right now. Let's get straight to the shit, you guys. Welcome, little bro. Raiders.Scout. What's good, bro?
How's it going? How's it going?
It's good. It's good, man.
It's good. It's been busy for sure. Now
I see you, man. What you got going on?
So you just finished junior year about a month ago. It's been working and that's it. You're ready to graduate, get shit started.
My boy Scout is over here looking like George Little. Not George Kittle, but George Little. Salute to my brother Scout, man. Salute to everybody here in the chat. And also, man, salute to my brother Spivey. As always, gifting 5 OLV Raider Network memberships. Salute to my guy, man, to Kevin Nash of Shieldmore. Salute to my dog. So, look, man, it's been a minute, man, since you came out. We always talk in the DMs or we're texting or we're on the phone. We talk. Yeah, you know what I mean? But I want to ask you, man, it's been a wild offseason. AP gets the intern label removed, right? We go into the offseason. We make a complete splash immediately. We added Tom Telesco. We added Christian Wilkins. I want to ask you real quick, man. We're not going to talk about the draft yet, but the offseason, man, how do you feel about how we approached this offseason going into the 2024 season?
I mean, like, it's tough because I get why you keep AP, right? Without a doubt. I don't have a problem with keeping AP, right? He definitely trying to figure out my words there in a second. He deserved the job without a doubt. He earned it. I don't know exactly the record. I think he went 6-4, something like that down the stretch, right?
I believe it was.
I'm gonna say it's like 6-4.
I think it was 5-5, somewhere around that range.
Let me see. It was 5-4, so it was both close. Anyway, I get why you keep them. Personally, I think I made it known through Twitter. My number one guy was Frank Smith. Regardless, I think he's going to end up being a phenomenal coach. I think AP can be a phenomenal coach. My big thing with him though was like, okay, cool. You keep him, you keep Graham. Right. Graham just said fuck it, even though he had a phenomenal defensive season. Goes through, wastes the whole defensive staff, fires everybody, lets everyone leave, and he's like, whatever. Somehow the defensive staff got better, which is a good thing to say. Offensively, though, is where I'm kind of like, if you hire AP, right, he's not a defensive coach. He ran a defense at Arizona State that was like, I think their highest finish was like 38th or something in the country. Great, it was fine, right? But it's like he's not a phenomenal defensive coach. He's not shown a bunch. Yeah, the linebackers played well. He's never shown he can be a DC in the NFL. That doesn't matter. He's not going to be a DC or anything, So offensively, he has no clue what he's doing. That doesn't mean he sound rude. He just doesn't. He's not a
talk your shit, Scout. I'm waiting, man. Talk.
I'm like, I don't love Luke Getsy. Like,
I don't think
I'm not a
any of
fan.
them. Though.
I know. I'm saying I'm not a fan of people like a defensive coordinators in the NFL. If you fail, you can come back, right? Like it's harder to be a defensive coordinator in the NFL. It's harder to do anything in defense in the NFL.
I agree.
So if you fail as a defensive coordinator, you can come back again. You can do good. I mean, Patrick Graham was all right with Miami. Had one good year with the Giants. Sucked for 2 years. Came here. Was all right. Wanted to get everyone. It seemed like was screaming to get him fired, despite the fact that our fucking starting corners were Casey Hayward. No offense to him. No, Hayward wasn't even. I don't even remember his. It wasn't last year. The year before. Who was it? It was Brandon Faison.
Rock your sin.
And yeah, right. Like it's not great. It wasn't a great defense. You know, he was starting Denzel Perriman, I think, at linebacker, who's loved Denzel Perriman, but he's left the Raiders and it just kind of sucked.
Yeah.
He
wanted to stay here too. He told me that himself out here at Dallas at Max Crosby's camp. He wanted to be a Raider, but he understands the business. He's a veteran. He knows how it goes.
He's not what Graham really wants long term. He wasn't the super high athlete. Anyway, you know, but like if you're an offensive coordinator in the NFL and you fail, you just can't rehire a guy like that. And that's all. Like, I mean, I say that like this entire offseason, head coaches didn't just hire failed offensive coordinators. Like the Patriots hired Alex Van Pelt. He sucks.
Nasty work.
Getsy probably sucks. Then again, Getsy and Van Pelt have different things. But like Cliff Kingsbury is better than Getsy. He still sucks. I think
prime time Scout right here, baby. Everybody's at. I love it.
My top candidate was Zach Robinson, but unfortunately, not unfortunately. Yeah. Fortunately for him, unfortunately for the Raiders, his wife gave birth 2 days before he was supposed to interview with the Raiders, and right when that happened, within those 2 days, Raheem Morris some fucking how got hired with the Falcons as their head coach. Again, no idea what they were doing this entire offseason, but. Yeah. They hired him, so Zach Robinson goes there. But if his wife probably doesn't give birth within those 2 days, there's a higher chance he ends up with the Raiders. But it's like, okay, we'll give Luke Getsy a shot. His offense at Mississippi State sucked. I still am a student at App State. I still started. I'm a senior now, which feels old. I just turned 21.
Well, let me add to what you're saying real quick. We bring in Kingsbury, right, for a split second.
I don't even know what the fuck happened there.
Well, apparently, we both hear things from people.
Boo-hoo. We didn't give him a third year.
Blah 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 blah. I think that was the way
within 2 years in Washington because Dan King's going to last a year and a half.
But the problem with me is Scout, and offense, defense. The issue with me was. You bring in Kingsbury and then you shift immediately to Luke Getsy, completely different schemes.
So not only that, right? But like, if you have Kingsbury, Aiden O'Connell, weirdly enough, somehow fits Cliff Kingsbury, right? Like he fits.
I want to know how.
Now he can't move, but the air raid, quote unquote. O'Connell's best thing is throwing the ball downfield. He's not. Phenomenal short range and mid is meh. He's good at reading the defense, throwing the ball downfield. So, and Kingsbury kind of worked with the quarterback mobility, but Getsy's whole thing is all right. You're gonna look at this guy. If he's not open, you look to the guy standing literally fucking next to him, and when he's not open, because that's how coverage works, you're gonna run. But Aiden O'Connell love the guy, can't fucking run. He's just. He just stands there. He runs a little bit more than Derek Carr sometimes. But
yes,
Minshew, on the other hand, is I want O'Connell to win. I think O'Connell's the better quarterback.
I
Minshew
agree.
has the ability to run. Not that you should be designing quarterback runs for Gardner Minshew, and if you are, you should be nowhere near an NFL offense.
Agreed.
But if you're designing quarterback runs for Aiden O'Connell, you should be nowhere near society. You should be locked away and just over here. All right. So I get that. I get not going for a quarterback because you're not trading up to 1 through 3.
No.
And if you trade up, if you're Tom Telesco and you trade up for Michael Penix, I think Mark Davis walks in and fires you right there.
Mm-hmm.
I do think they thought Penix would be available at 13, and
Agreed.
I would have been fine taking him at 13, but the Falcons did the Falcons thing. We're not going to talk about that.
Insane.
Their whole offense has been insane. The Broncos taking Bo Nix, I'm not going to trash on that. I actually think he does exactly what Sean Payton wants him to do.
I agree.
Like
that was the one play
I don't like
that scared the shit out of me, him going to Denver, because I
don't like Bo Nix. I don't think he's ever going to be great. I don't ever think he's going to be a Pro Bowl quarterback and all pro. He's going to have like the most successful, just meh seasons of all time, but they're like meh enough to run a good offense because he does exactly what Sean Payton's going to want him to do.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it gets a little overhated, like all in all. But back to the Raiders, I don't like Getsy. I think AP's biggest thing, and I said it on Twitter, I got hate for it. AP could be phenomenal, but if Luke Getsy sucks this season and he doesn't fire him, it's his job's done. He's done. Like, if Luke Getsy just doesn't have a good year this year, you have to
let him go.
Without a doubt, he wasn't your first choice.
Mm-hmm.
He wasn't your second choice. You could argue he might not even been your third or fourth choice. Mm-hmm. Like, this is a guy that's your fourth or fifth choice. If he fails, he has to go.
Mm-hmm.
There's no loyalty to anyone there. You don't owe him anything. And just go out, and if you're being honest, the fact that Edgar Bennett, I would have taken him over Getsy. He did suck as an NFL offensive coordinator. That was like 15 years ago.
It was a long time ago.
And for those who don't know, has changed.
Our wide receivers coach, you guys, for those who don't know what Scout's talking about.
It's just you have to move on. If you don't move on, the AP hire fails. I don't love, like, for me, head coaching wise, it's offensive guys. Your offensive head coaches are the number one thing you hire in the NFL. It just makes sense.
Yeah.
You pair offensive head coach with young quarterback, it succeeds 95% of the time.
Mm-hmm.
After that is like the AP type, the just pure leader and all that. But you just have to make sure that guy has a good coordinators around him. He has 2 out of 3 because Tom McMahon is phenomenal. He sucked in Denver. I don't care. He's been one of the best special teams coordinators in the world. So whatever. And below that's defensive head coaches, which consistently just fail.
Yeah.
Outside of like 1 or 2 every now and then. But AP has to move on from Getsy. If he doesn't, it's a wash, and the Raiders are stuck in some weird, like.
Well, hold on. Let's not do that yet. Let's not do that yet. Let's talk about what Getsy has at his disposal, okay? Because we ended up sticking with Aiden O'Connell. We went and got Gardner Minshew, in free agency to add to that, QB competition, right? A guy that had some success in the NFL. I'm not going to act like this guy is a phenomenal talent, but he's done some things.
No, I mean, he has made decent offenses. I won't.
Yes, but remember, Getsy, look, he made one of our guys, Notre Dame, tight end, out there look really good these past few years, right? Like, let's just keep it a buck out there. Cole Kmet looks absolutely, he's like a stud now. He looks exactly how I thought he would be. But you go get a guy in Brock Bowers, and salute the Savage Raider. Brock Bowers! Salute to my guy. Appreciate you on the 10. You already know my dog. How do you feel about that pickup? Because I feel like AP understands what Getsy's system looks like. They went and got Brock Bowers at 30.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Michael Mayers is still there. They turned this into a running back by committee. You already know Getsy doesn't need that workhorse running back. He wants numerous running backs, different reps, different times. You know what I'm saying? But I want to ask you, go ahead.
Oh, well, so Getsy last year, their offense finished, I think, 19th in points and 15th in yards. Now, without a doubt, and I don't want to hear a single person disagree with me, Aiden O'Connell, Gardner Minshew are miles above Justin Fields and Tyson Bagent. All right, if that's just like flat out truth, right? Okay. Fields, I think he has potential to be decent. I just don't know what it was, but I don't like using the rushing things because you take away like the quarterback runs and stuff. Getsy's offense falls from like second in yards to I think it's like 25th or something. Like Justin Fields just went crazy because Justin Fields can't play quarterback. But
bro, who ran the football against us with Tyson out as a quarterback? Foreman.
It was
like a running back.
Yeah, it was Dante Foreman who just decided to have I think 900 yards last year or something.
Yeah, exactly.
Like he just had the most random Linsanity season of all time. Yeah, what did he have? He had oh my bad. He had 425 yards, and
but he played in limited fashion.
24 of them came against us.
Yeah,
but no. Speaking of that, right? If you're the Raiders,
go ahead.
I said it. I got a little hate for it. I understand it. The Raiders on paper have a top 8, arguably, weapon group in the NFL. Like, Devontae's Devontae. Jacoby Myers is a low-end wide receiver 1 that's playing wide receiver 2.
Agreed.
Trey Tucker is a midget whose hands are questionable, but if he gets the hands together, he's fine, despite the fact that he's a midget. Michael Gallup is Michael Gallup. He's consistently, like, the 1,000-yard season was, it was a 1,000-yard season. Everyone, it feels like half the wide receivers in the NFL have some random 1,000-yard season.
Yes.
He's like us. He's the definition of a wide receiver 3-4. It's whatever. He's depth. Jalen Guyton, please never put him on any crucial situation because he's going to drop the ball. It sounded like Trey Tucker caught a stray. It was a stray, but he can be phenomenal. He can get like 700, 800 yards throughout his career. He just has to learn how to actually catch the ball. There's too many, he catches it and then bobbles it and still catches it moments. And then there's the obvious, just it hits his hands and looks.
There was that one play where he caught that tutty last year in the end zone. I'm going to be real with you. The refs kind of gave it to us. It looked like.
Oh, yeah. No, he lost it, regained it, and I'm pretty sure he was out. But
definitely agree with you.
Regardless, honestly, midget with questionable hands was not my phrase. And it just stuck. But anyway, he can be really good. He can be like a 600-700 yard. Bro, man, I'm 95% sure I'm older than Trey Tucker.
Damn, you? Yeah.
I think so. How old is he?
And we got the typing in the building, baby. We got Scout back, baby.
He's 23. I'm 21. I'm older than I know for sure Brock Bowers, which is kind of sad. But like Brock Bowers is Brock Bowers, right? Like, why you play wide?
Bro, don't even do it right now.
I like looking.
I know, but don't. We'll get the questions in. We'll get all that.
I'll get anyway. Brock Bowers. He's phenomenal. As much as it hurts me to say, he is by far has been the best tight end in the country for the past 3 years.
Agreed.
Granted, Mayer should have won the John Mackey Award over him at least one of those years, but I digress.
Our Notre Dame guys, this I have to agree with you. Yes, sir.
But he's phenomenal, right? He's Kyle Pitts, but unlike Kyle Pitts, he can control his body, has better route running, and while he's not going to be running a 4.4 or whatever, he's I think he runs like a 4.5, which is he runs a 4.5. His route running is phenomenal. Put him out wide if you want. Put him in the slot. Preferably put him in the slot. And I the whole the Raiders had Michael Mayer thing. The Bears ran the most 12 personnel last, or like their top 3, whatever.
Yes.
And it was Komet and then some blocker. There's 3 tight end positions. You have like an inline, a Y, and an H-back. Mm-hmm. The H-back is going to be Harrison Bryant, which, again, also won a fucking John Mackey Award.
Yeah, 3 John Mackey tight ends. Well, pretty much. We'll say 2.
2 and should be 3.
2, yeah.
And then they have technically the John Mackey Award of blocking tight ends, if you think about it, because Cole Fotheringham has done that his entire career.
He's a monster.
But you have Harrison Bryant who's going to play the H. He'll have like 300 yards this year, and they're all going to be the most random, just somehow he's 40 yards downfield, wide open, and no one's covering him, but I'm not going to complain.
Yeah.
Mayer's going to do Mayer things. He's a better blocker than he was last year. That's just how playing tight end in the NFL works. Mm-hmm. And then playing tight end in the NFL is one of the hardest positions to adjust to. It's a lot of factors. The hashes get smaller. You have to actually be able to block. But when you take a guy who's played his entire career basically as a glorified slot receiver and put him in the in the slot, he's going to be fine. It's not going to disrupt anything. He had like 47 or some percent of his yards are after the catch, which was the most out of the entire class by like I think 7 or 8%. It was the most at tight end by over 20%.
Yeah.
Also, please give him 20 jet sweeps a year because
love it.
He did it at Georgia. For a guy who just loves screens and jet sweeps, which is Luke Getsy. If he magically discovers that he just doesn't want to do them this year, lock him out of the building. Remove his access code and the Jamal Adams video. Just do that. If you suddenly have the best tight end in college history at running screens and you decide to stop running the tight end screens, when you were no hate to Cole Kmet, running it to Cole fucking Kmet,
a guy that does not possess the athleticism.
No. Cole Kmet is less athletic than Michael Mayer, and Michael Mayer is a decent athlete, but he's not like some elite NFL tight end athlete.
Agreed.
He's still an elite athlete. He's just not an elite athlete at the position.
Yeah.
I got hate for that because I said Hunter Renfrow wasn't a phenomenal athlete. He's not. For the position, he's not. But he's still an NFL receiver, right? Like, I'm not saying I'm a better athlete than Hunter Renfrow.
Yeah.
Like, any NFL corner is putting me in a blender and putting
that goes back to you saying that any receiver can have a random 1,000 yard.
They can.
So, but I just had to add that to your argument.
But yeah. Again, any NFL corner is putting me on my ass.
Mm-hmm.
Unless it's like Darryl Worley, maybe. I'm still going to put on my ass just 5 yards downfield. The Raiders have a phenomenal group of weapons. Running back, last night, just for the fun of it, talking with my friend, Zamir White rivals everything Derrick Henry did in high school. Zamir White had like 43 rushing touchdowns his sophomore year of high school, fun fact.
Great to know.
Which is absurd.
Exactly.
Granted, it's also North Carolina football, and I can say that because I'm from North Carolina.
Mm-hmm.
But Dylan Laub, however you say his last name.
Laub, yeah.
Phenomenal dude. I loved him at New Hampshire, right? I don't care that it's New Hampshire.
Hold on. Before you go, before you continue on this, I have to say, Scout mentioned him very early on Twitter.
Mm-hmm.
We had a back and forth, you know what I mean? And
Laub,
it was funny. I had to say low key, I was like, I'm a little nervous about having a white running back from New Hampshire.
I mean, I would be a little bit worried if he wasn't a white running back from New Hampshire. Like if he was,
right.
Exactly. Like I think the entire New Hampshire roster was white guys.
Yeah, but then you go look at the tape, and this kid is a phenomenal athlete, man. From special teams, he could do it all.
He's just like he had like 9,000 or 10,000 career yards at New Hampshire, which is absurd. I don't care if it's New Hampshire.
But that Central Michigan game was insane, Scout. Like,
oh yeah, he did not run the ball well. But they were like, you know what? You can't run because our O-line can't block, but we're just going to throw you the ball and you're going to just go off.
And he had almost 300 yards in the passing game.
It was like 224 or something like that.
Yeah.
Anyway, I love Dylan Laub. He's going to make a ton of waves in the NFL, like the new kick rules, which is a whole different thing.
Agreed.
Alexander Madison, I mean, he's all right. He's not a starting running back. That's just
agreed.
When
they decided to let Dalvin Cook walk, Alex Madison had a little fumble problem out there in Minnesota. Didn't run the football effectively. Didn't Ty Chandler take a job as a starter?
He did. I think it was Ty Chandler, and for like 2 weeks it was Cam Akers, and he got hurt again.
There you go.
He's not starting running back. Granted, the fumble problem was only last year. He had 3 out of his 4 career fumbles last year. I think it's fine.
Mm-hmm.
Laub.
Does Laub take Amir Abdullah's job this year as a third down back?
So, yes, but no. I think Amir still sticks on the roster because he's a phenomenal special teams player, and I think he's still a better blocker than Laub. But I think Laub is going to push him through eventually. It's going to be committee, I think. But I still think it's going to be like 60% Zamir White and then just 20% Madison and Laub.
I agree.
I think if it's third down though, you have Laub on the field. There's just no way he's not. I mean, maybe not at the beginning of the season. Maybe it's still Amir Abdullah. Maybe it's Alexander Madison. I don't think it'll be Zamir White because he can't really catch that well.
Does Luke at some point put Brock Bowers and Dylan Labe in the backfield together?
You have to. I mean, you have to.
Cold.
I mean, I'm like 90% sure. Now I got to look this up. I'm pretty sure Brock Bowers took it had to be over 100 snaps. It was like 100 snaps in the backfield or something.
Yeah. No, but he definitely lined up in the backfield a lot out there in Georgia.
Georgia, you know, the bad high school teams that have that one really good kid and they play him like at corner, receiver, running back, quarterback, kicker, punter. That was Brock Bowers at Georgia, except they weren't bad. He was just that good.
Mm-hmm.
Running back sneaky that I think can make the roster, not because he's a running back, is Tyreek McAllister, the CFL kid.
You always keep talking about him.
Well, he runs a 4.34, and he had I think it was 3 kick return, 3 total special teams touchdowns in the CFL.
Mm-hmm.
And now the only reason he makes the roster is if he makes really well in camp off of the kickoffs and special teams in preseason. I don't know if maybe he can make it.
Who's the kick returner right now, Scout? Starting them off.
I have no idea. Okay, Sincere, yes. If Sincere McCormick makes it, I'll be happy. I do love Sincere McCormick. Not your level, but I think Britton Brown maybe has a shot to make it somehow. He's the definition of just if it's. I know Zamir White's a power runner, but if it's 4th and 1, Britton Brown makes sense. If Deshaun Foster
was a great goal line running back for the UCLA Bruins, he scored a lot.
If Deshaun Foster was the running back coach, I think there's a higher chance he makes it. But Foster, congrats to him, is now the running back coach at head coach at UCLA, which again, weird situation there. But I don't know. I feel like Britton Brown has something he wasn't overly athletic. I think he ran a 4.7 or something, but he's just a bowling ball. It takes him a couple steps to get going, and then he breaks at least 1 tackle.
He is Latavius Murray that doesn't run as high, if that makes sense.
It's not a phenomenal running back group, right? No doubt Josh Jacobs is better than all of the running backs on the roster, but it's a weirdly deep running back room. It's just it's solid enough. I think if the weakest position on your roster is running back, at least on offense, you're fine with that because running back by committees work.
But in Getsy's scheme, that's scary though, Scout. We can't act like we can't expect Aiden O'Connell to go out there and just throw the football all over the place without a running game.
No, you can't. But if you can average at least 4 yards per carry, which is the standard. But if you're getting consistent from at least 2 of your 3 guys, you're fine.
Yeah.
And I think you're going to get it from Madison. The Vikings O-line last year wasn't particularly great in run blocking. Mm-hmm. Zamir should give you that. If he doesn't, our running game's done. If he can't give you at least 4.3 yards per carry, our run game's done.
How many backs do we keep this year, Scout, in your eyes?
I think the Bears have kept 4 the last 2 years, so I'd say 3 or 4.
So
you're for sure keeping. I think it's for sure. White, Madison, locked in. Maybe I think Laube makes it, but I wouldn't say there's a guarantee he makes it because if you keep 3, he still has to beat out Amir Abdullah, which I think he will. Also for the upside, because if you cut Laube, I don't think he makes it through waivers. Some team's gonna see the
somebody will definitely scoop him up,
the measurables, and just at least take a shot on him.
Mm-hmm.
Some team that's bad and wants another depth running back. But I think you carry 4. 4 seems standard in the NFL. If you're running a committee, you have to have 4 because if you have 3 and 1 goes down, you're now stuck with 2.
So pretty much that's Amir, Madison, Laube, and Amir Abdullah at this point, right?
Unless I think that last spot comes down to Abdullah, McAllister, and then obviously Sincere McCormick and Britton Brown. I think McAllister has the upside there because he's been a special teams guy. So if he really stands out that much on special teams, Abdullah has never been a great runner his entire career. He's made his career off special teams and receiving, which makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
And then Britton Brown, Sincere McCormick, if they go out and have great preseasons, maybe one sneaks on. Yeah. It's tough because good running backs in preseasons statistically don't often get picked off waivers because it's like, I mean, it's easier to have a really good preseason as a running back because you're facing like, no offense, undrafted free agent, but you're facing, you know, 5th and 6th level D linemen.
Mm-hmm.
I think receiver comes down. Receivers: Adams, Myers, Tucker, Gallup, Guyton, probably because it's Tom Telesco and he's fast.
Yeah.
And then
I know that Aiden loves Wilkerson too. I know that Aiden has been working with him.
I know he does.
I know that's a Josh McDaniels guy. I've said that he was going to be a cut from the jump, but that is a guy that Aiden's worked with a lot this offseason. I think potentially slipping into making that roster.
I mean, he could. He's what, like 6'2". He made it last year. He deserved to make it last year.
Yeah.
I think Tulu Griffin from Mississippi State, not the best receiver. He's not a good route runner. He's just quick. He also has no great hands. His hands are a problem. But his special teams, I think he's third. No, he led the country last year.
Yes.
In average kick returns. Mm-hmm. For the NFL. I want to say he's like third all time in his career in like the NCAA history for kick return yardage. So maybe he does it. I think, again, with the new kickoff rules, you can justify cutting one extra position to keep a legitimate, just pure returner, right? Like with the old NFL kickoff rules, you didn't really return it. But now if teams are expecting 50, 60, 70, or the Jets are expecting like 100+ returns a season, it's a position where you have to keep a guy on the roster if he's just that good.
Do you potentially see Trey Tucker getting any reps?
I think Trey Tucker could, but the other thing is, like, if you're getting 100 returns a season, do you really want a guy who is your third receiver?
Well, we don't know yet, though.
I know. But it increases the risk of injury no matter who it is. Right?
Agreed.
Like if it's Laube, if it's Tucker, if it's McAllister or Griffin, like, it reduces the risk of injury. And personally, the kickoffs in the NFL are going to be more explosive, but I'd rather not lose Trey Tucker for an extended period of time because of hurting kickoffs. I wouldn't rather hurt anyone, but like losing a guy dedicated just to kickoffs is better than losing your pure receiver.
Who is Tucker in this system? If you want to compare it to Chicago, is it Darnell Mooney?
I'd say like Jacoby Myers is Darnell Mooney.
And
then like flat comparison, no, but like the way they're used, I think Myers gets used more like Mooney, despite the athleticism difference. Adams gets used like DJ Moore, and Tucker just gets. I don't even know who the Bears like.
Yeah, because I
don't even know who the Bears' third receiver was last year. That's how bad they were, and they somehow went 7-10.
Yeah. I thought Mooney was technically their number 2.
Which I don't know how he got paid as much as he did in Atlanta, but
it's nasty work.
It was. What was it? Yeah, so DJ Moore had 1,300 yards because all they did was look his way.
Yep.
Cole Kmet had 719. Darnell Mooney had 414. Their third highest receiving yards last year was Tyler Scott, who had 168. Wow. Oh, okay. I lied. Their third highest was Roshan Johnson, but at pure receiver, it was Tyler Scott. I think Trey Tucker is like that guy this year with the offense. He's the guy you come in on certain plays but like he's not just he's clearly running downfield type of receiver because he worked on his route running pretty well. It was shockingly good. He was able to working to get into short area yardage. Route running in the NFL is only going to improve.
Yeah.
Can't teach athleticism. But I think he's like that guy who's just like a matchup-based receiver, right? He'll probably get like 400 or 500 yards this year just off of that alone. And I think O'Connell loves him. Like everyone, no matter what he's one of the fastest players in the NFL. I don't care what his 40 time is. He ran like a 10-2 100-meter.
But I still think he's going to be a gadget guy this year, Scout. Like
I think so. Jet sweeps, weird like bubble.
Bro, you got Michael Mayer and you add Brock Bowers. Like at this point, there's only so many footballs that can go around. I think that
he's a guy that you just get the ball to and you see if he can do something with it, right?
Yeah.
Maybe not a guy you design a specific like plays, like okay, he's doing this and he's the primary read. But if you get him on a screen or just a straight go or something, like he's gonna get open, or you're gonna get him the ball in his hands and let him make his play because he's explosive. Adams is gonna get probably over 1,300 yards. Getsy loves him. He loves Getsy. He knows the system. Yeah. As long as Aiden O'Connell can get it somewhere near his hands, he's probably gonna have a good year.
Yeah.
But like, I'm interested to see how often they run. I mean, how often they pass. Like, does he move? Like, he was a pass game coordinator, right? Like his whole game, his whole history has been passing. He goes to the Bears, it becomes running. Mm-hmm. So like, I'm interested to see if they then switch from the running back into more passing, which would make sense for the team you have, right? Like, and also Bowers is going to be the third receiver, quote unquote. Like, he's the guy who you can't put a linebacker on him, you can't put a safety on him, you can't put a corner. Like, he's not Darren Waller, right? He doesn't have a horrible music career, but he's similar, all right? He's like a mismatch that you have to game plan against as long as things work out well.
Let me ask you real quick. Let's get off the receivers. I want to ask you, how do you feel about the O-line, the turnaround this offseason, and adding James Craig? And I want to add a story to this. I don't think you knew this. I usually tell Scout everything, but, he's been busy. I've been busy. There was a story. James Craig was a former Raider offensive coordinator. Offensive line coach before, right?
Yeah, he was also the O-line coach at LSU that year they went.
Well, apparently, and I'm going to put this out into the universe. I may have talked about it before, but he quit on us mid-game. I believe it was halftime. And I believe he took the LSU. Was it the LSU job? It may have been somewhere else.
Was it 2019? Let me
look this up.
Yeah.
Go ahead and
if it's the year I'm thinking of, I wouldn't probably blame him for quitting on us at halftime.
Yeah, he quit on us.
Not that I'm justifying it, but I'm saying like.
No, we talked to Randy Hansen, former Raider, coach, and he told us. He was like, I'm so pissed the Raiders added James Craig again because he quit on us at half. Oh, Tampa Bay. He took the Tampa Bay job, I believe. I think he went with Gruden. He went to Gruden.
Oh, okay. That's a little bit
years ago, long time ago. But he quit. He quit and took a Tampa job literally at half and just flew out of Oakland and went to Tampa Bay. So Randy Hansen was pissed. He's like, why would they give him a job the way he left and departed? But I digress from this. How do you feel about the addition of James Craig? How do you feel about the new system we're running on the O-line? And how do you feel about the additions? Because
he did work with the Raiders. Yeah. So in 2007 to 8, he was with the Raiders. He was with the Raiders as the assistant O-line coach.
Yeah.
And then it looks like he went to Tennessee.
He went to Tampa, I thought, with Gruden.
So this says 07 to 08, he was with the Raiders. And then 09, he was with the University of Tennessee. And then 11, 12, and 13. Oh, he was from 10 to 13, he was with USC. And then he was with the Chargers, LSU.
Okay, well, I remember the story I was told was that he left us in the middle of a game to go with Gruden. But either way.
I mean, yeah. It was actually 5.
How do you feel about the addition of James Craig? How do you feel about Mumford potentially starting at right tackle full-time? We allowed Jermaine Illuminor to walk. I thought that was the right thing to do. I do like Loom. Salute to him. But, Jackson Powers Johnson now, I do not agree with him playing at guard. I'm going to be honest with you, Scout. I think that he could be an all-pro center. I do not want.
I think he will be eventually.
I do too, but I don't want to fuck with his development. I know he took reps at Oregon. We broke down some of his tape the other day, at the guard spot. I'm not saying he's not a good guard at all, but I think he could be a great center. But either way, we brought Andre James back. He's played well for us. He gets a lot of flack. We've all beat him up a little bit, but he's been okay. He's been
surprisingly good last year.
Yeah, you know what I mean? But how do you feel about the O-line as a whole? And are you worried about Jackson Powers Johnson dealing with these nagging injuries, these lower body injuries, and Colton Miller with the rehabbing with the shoulder? How do you feel about the O-line and James Craig as a whole? And DJ Glaze as well, adding him in the third round.
So Craig, whatever his name is,
James Craig.
Something like that. Correct. That LSU line was just stupid. Like, flat out was stupid.
Yeah.
Right? Joe Burrow was just sitting back there for as long as he wanted. Except for like the first few weeks when he just got obliterated and then they fixed everything. And he was like, all right, I'm good, whatever.
Talk about the LSU days with James Craig, you guys.
That said, Carmen Bracilla was a top 5 to 10 O-line coach in the NFL. I know people hated him, right? There was
including players.
Yeah, I was gonna say players didn't love him. There was some players that loved him, some that didn't, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Regardless, he was like a top 5, 10 O-line coach in the NFL.
I have to agree.
His O-line has never finished lower than 12 in pass block win rate and run block win rate ever. In his 5 years as an O-line coach, they've never finished below those.
Yeah.
Now, that's not everything. There's some other stuff, but like he was a good O-line coach. There's no doubt about that. Now, Clegg, whatever. Quitter, whatever. He like the LSU O-line was great. Don't blame him for leaving LSU to go to the 49ers. 49ers O-line has been up and down. Obviously, wasn't
kind of a patchwork low key. It's kind of
Brent Williams and then just Alex Bars and then no offense to these guys, a revolving door of who the fuck are you? But the revolving door ends up being really good. Not really good, but they're good enough. I mean, Christian McCaffrey had 1,700 rushing yards last year.
Insane.
Christian McCaffrey, but like he's gonna be fine. It's a new system. They're transitioning from the man gap to from the zone to more of the gap. I think I want to say that's
why I think Andre James is going to succeed even more.
They're transitioning to more like less power based and more athletic based, which works for everyone on the line. It works for Colton Miller. It works for Jackson Powers-Johnson. It works for Andre James.
Yep.
It works for Dylan Parham, who loved Dylan Parham, made 0 sense for the last O-line. The dude cannot block with power. He has no core strength, no leg drive. The dude's like he's 5 years removed from being a tight end, right? He's gonna get it eventually, but he made no sense to pick him with like pure system. But he's been fine. He's going to be fine. He has potential to be, and this is not my words. Jason Kelsey said he has potential to be an All-Pro, right? Like, and I fully believe that. He's 23 years old.
Yeah.
Munford doesn't totally make sense because
I knew you were going to say this because I agree with you.
He's not an athlete at all. He is he's an athlete, right? But he's not an athlete at the position in the NFL. But he's a good run blocker. And if your right tackle is a decent run blocker and gives up, 6 to 8 sacks a year and like 3 pressures a game, it's like, all right, that's not great, but I'm taking that when he was having like 5.5 yards per carry as a lead blocker last year, right? Like you want to run the ball, run behind him.
Agreed.
Jackson Powers-Johnson, I'm fine playing at guard as long as it's left guard.
Yeah, I agree.
I'd rather him next to Colton Miller than him next to Thayer Munford. I also would like Dylan Parham to play right guard where he was phenomenally better, and it makes sense until McDaniels was like, hey, no, I want you at left guard, so we're just going to force you to left guard. I don't care that you aren't as good there. But it's just going to work because I said it's going to work. And shocker, he got fired. At 1 a.m. Like 1 a.m. on Halloween.
Yeah. I remember I woke up high as hell doing a video on it.
I was still awake. But I spoke with someone that was close with the Raiders last year. I will say sizable, like, it's weird because losing Bracillo sucks. Greg Van Roten got so much hate, but he was a decent guard, right? Like, statistically, he was maybe the Raiders' best guard or offensive lineman last year. Now, was he? No. But he played a lot better than fans thought he did. Jermaine Alumar played a lot better than fans thought he did. I don't blame him for going to New York and following Bracillo. Also, he has to beat out Evan Neal, which is not difficult. Evan Neal was horrible last year.
He has struggled mightily since coming into
Max Crosby the definition of what you don't want to do as a tackle was Evan Neal versus Max Crosby.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I get it's Max Crosby, but he did everything wrong.
Mm-hmm.
So Miller at left tackle, he'll be fine. He might miss a little bit of training camp with the shoulder injury. It's whatever. We know what Colton Miller is. He's smart. He'll understand the playbook. He knows how to play in the system. They played in the system at UCLA. Jackson Powers-Johnson, I think it's a lower body injury. I want to say. I think
It's a strain. It's a strain.
It's nothing major. You play it safe, right? He's very similar to Richie Incognito, minus the off-field stuff and the sleeping videos. But
real ones know. Real ones know.
Well, Incognito struggled with injuries. I think JPJ will probably struggle with injuries here and there. The concussions was the big thing at Oregon.
Exactly.
You can teach that to be different in the NFL. Like, if you teach him to stop slamming his head into the nose tackle's helmet, which he did consistently, you might be shocked when you stop getting concussions. Andre James is going to be fine, right? Like, I get it. He's not phenomenal. He's not elite. He's like a top 12 to 9 center. Granted, center in the NFL is like a weirdly weak position.
Yeah.
But if your center is your worst position in the NFL on your O-line, it's fine. The dude's never blocking one-on-one. Like, they're always helping. And if they are blocking one-on-one, the rest of your O-line's one-on-one too, right? And the guy who's going to get beat is probably not your center.
Mm-hmm.
He'll be fine. I don't blame them for paying him. They said the Raiders thought the guard market was going to explode. They didn't want to pay it, and Robert Hunt got like $21 million a year. And Robert Hunt. I'm not paying a guard $20 million a year. In no world am I doing that.
But look at this, right? I wanted Robert Hunt. Then you see $100 million.
I didn't want him for $100 million.
Right? You're like, what the fuck? And then you bring in Andres Pete and Cody Whitehair, 2 former Pro Bowl guys, for pennies.
I wanted Damian Lewis. They handed him like 60-some million. Insane. Right? Like, the guard market just out of nowhere went crazy.
Yeah. Salute to S. too. Appreciate you, brother.
I think Thayer Munford will continue to develop. Andre James will continue to be like the 8th or 12th best center on a given week. He's going to have 2 weeks where he's like the 31st best center, but it's fine. The Raiders have been
and that means he's going against Chris Jones, you guys. I know what Scout meant. He's going against Chris Jones.
The Raiders have been completely spoiled with great centers, right? Like,
yes.
If you go from Rodney Hudson, who at the time was debatably the best center in the NFL, to Andre James, it's like it's not going to be comparable. And expecting Andre James to be half of what Rodney Hudson is, which is still a top 3 center in the NFL, is just unrealistic, right? It's like expecting Janarius Robinson to be half of what Max Crosby was.
Yeah, even half of Malcolm Coates.
Yeah, right. Like,
but I agree.
Andre James came along. He's 27 years old. He's played NFL. He's played center in the NFL for 5 years.
Yeah,
actually, not even in the NFL. He has played center in the NFL. He has played center, period, for 5 years. Yeah. No guard in the NFL is better than Dickerson. That is true. Landon Dickerson is phenomenal.
Landon Dickerson.
Again, by the way, fun fact: former center that moved to guard.
Alabama, right?
Yeah, I think it's Alabama. Yeah. Chris Lindstrom does give him a run for his money. That dude's phenomenal. Again, I'd also rather have Parham next to Thayer Munford too, because the run blocking on that side is good. Depth-wise, Andres Pete, please don't play him at right tackle.
At all. Tackle, period.
He is a left tackle if shit hits the fan.
Yes.
But he's a left guard. He's your backup left guard. That's fine. He's whatever. Don't play him at center either. For some reason, some people think he can. Please don't.
Yeah.
Your backup center is Jackson Powers-Johnson and Dylan Parham, and you just slide. Like, if what's his name goes down, if James goes down, Parham probably slides to center, and you move Cody Whitehair into right guard for a couple weeks.
I agree. Or
Jackson Powers-Johnson goes to center and Whitehair goes to left.
I don't think they do it in year 1, but I agree with you. I think that they would.
No, I'm saying if Andre James gets hurt, that's what happens, right? Like Parham or JPJ moves in. Cody Whitehair was not great last year
at all. He hasn't been good since 2018.
He's a backup. Cool, that's fine.
Yeah.
If he's a prolonged starter, things get a little bit dicey. But if he's a prolonged starter, I don't see why you're starting him over DJ Glaze at guard, or even moving Munford to guard and putting Glaze at tackle, because I am maybe one of the few that thinks DJ Glaze is actually can be a decent tackle. I think like he's a high upside, high athlete that had raw traits, right? He's that type of pick is something you probably want to take in the 4th or 5th round. But tackles flew off the board, and they were flying off the board. So I don't care if you go and get your guy, right? You understand board value. You get who you want. Is it a little bit of a reach? Sure, it's who you wanted.
Bro, hold on. You talking about Glaze?
Yeah, he's also like 21 years old. He's got time. He's not going to play.
There was already 2 runs on tackles up to at that point. We had it.
That's what I'm saying. Is he was gonna be like, if you had like a 4th round board, 4th or 5th round grade on him, he was gone. I had like an earlier mid 4th. I thought it was a reach, right? But it's fine. He can develop into something, and if he doesn't, like, I don't personally hate using your 3rd round pick on a swing tackle. Is it ideal? No, but
Glaze will be our new Brandon Parker without the mishaps.
It's not horrible. He also can play guard, which is huge. He has played in college. He played all 5 positions.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm forgetting someone. Dalton Wagner could push.
I was going to ask you too, because I've talked to Hondo on the show 2 or 3 times. I've talked to people out there, bro. No one's hearing anything about Dalton Wagner right now.
If you think Andres Pete is your true like backup left tackle, and you consider DJ Glaze as your reserve lineman, not that he's inactive, but he's like he can play everywhere guy. Like it does kind of leave you down a true backup right tackle. And Dalton Wagner has all the size. I think if it comes between that, he should be like, I hope they let him work at left tackle. And if he can get like a little bit of work there, because it'll increase his like ability. Andrew Corker, whatever, from TCU. Also a massive human being.
Yes.
They're both like 6'8", 320.
I don't know why he fell as a UDFA. Maybe it's because he doesn't really possess a lot of athleticism.
He's like too big, if that makes sense. Yeah, you can be too big to tackle.
Yeah.
He can compete, but I think that's it. I think that's what you got. Jordan Meredith will probably make it again. He can play.
Agreed. Versatility.
And I haven't watched him. I should probably watch him, but metric wise, didn't look horrible. Like his metrics and stats weren't horrible when he played. Like I think a few snaps last year. Right, like he's your 10th lineman. You can get worse than that.
Yeah,
I feel like I'm forgetting someone on the O line that I really shouldn't be forgetting, but I just
not really.
Jake Johanning from Furman,
bro. That's my favorite UDFA.
Probably won't make it this year because he is like 270 pounds and he needs to like add muscle. But he has potential to develop into like a backup guard, like a good level backup guard, and he can also play center. I think that's the only one I'm thinking. Will Putnam from Clemson is just not good.
Yeah,
he's like 6'5" at center, which is a little bit concerning. And unathletic. Clark Barrington from Baylor.
He's not going to make the roster.
I never even have heard of him. I don't even know if he'll make it through camp.
I'll talk to people out here in Texas, and they're like, "Good luck with that."
No hate to him, but it's just like he's an athlete. He had a really good athleticism score. So
Baylor, bro. I mean, that's what they do.
Like I think he's at BYU too. He's also like 25 years old.
You said who was it?
Clark Barrington, the Baylor dude. I'm pretty sure he was at BYU too, and I think he's like 24 or 25 years old. Like he is old for an undrafted free agent, which is not that doesn't really work out well for him because you don't want to be that old as an undrafted free agent when you need time to develop.
Real quick, let's do this.
Ben Brown. I forgot Ben Brown.
Okay, there you go.
Depth guy, and Caitlin McKenzie is the son, I think, of Reggie McKenzie. Honestly, the college film was not horrible. Maybe pushes, but I doubt it.
Let's do this real quick, Scout. So talk about the offense and blah, right? I haven't got an opportunity to talk to you about the draft. I want to talk to you a little bit about free agency, and we're going to leave on the defensive side of football. I want to we'll be here live for 3 hours talking our talk. I got to ask you this. As a whole, how do you grade this draft? Like, how do you look at it You took Brock Bowers, best player available. Tom Telesco, way of going about business. You took him there. We didn't get a quarterback until we got Bradley as a UDFA out of South Alabama. Jackson Powers Johnson, DJ Glaze, Richardson, all these guys, Devin Shire out of Pitt. How do you, Dylan Labe, New Hampshire, 6th-round guy. How do you look at this draft as a whole? How do you rate it? Break down some of these guys and let the chat know how you feel about it.
I did not know Sanjit played O-line at Sacramento State. I just actually found that out. Makes sense. A lot of the stuff he says about O-line.
Yeah.
But I'm going to probably stop arguing with him on that one because he probably does know more about me on that one.
He definitely loves the O-line. He definitely played there.
Respect it, too.
And Tommy Eichenberg as well, one of my favorite pickups in this draft.
Oh, yeah. I love Brock Bowers. Like, need-wise is the exact opposite, right? Like, you didn't need him.
No.
But he's a generational talent, and he's at 13, so, pull the trigger.
Definitely.
Thais Fuaga, probably could have taken him. I wouldn't have hated that. It hurt to pass on Quinyon Mitchell and Terrion Arnold. It hurt because, like, you just need good corners in the NFL more than
especially in our division.
That I think both of them made more sense than Fuaga if you weren't going to take you didn't take Bowers. I think if Bowers was gone, it was Mitchell or Arnold. Like I don't think Fuaga was on the table really.
Yeah.
So that hurts, and then the fact that the Eagles get Mitchell and DeJean is like, all right, cool. I don't know how the fuck you did that, but cool. Why am I blanking? Jackson Powers Johnson is a first-round talent. Hopefully, like throughout his entire NFL career, he stays healthy. I think he will.
Yeah.
3rd round, DJ Glaze. I talked about that one. 4th round was to Cameron Richardson. Outside of the fact that the Raiders' social media intern was probably fired because of that pick.
Yes.
I don't know how you say that, but
fuck that up.
he's like Jacorian Bennett, right? Like he is a freak athlete.
Yeah.
Decent in coverage. Please do not start him. Please do not put him out there week 1 because he has a really good training camp. And you're like, oh, he can be phenomenal because it just doesn't work. He's a rookie corner in the NFL. It's a struggle. You have to learn mentally. He's not like he has all the traits to be a good corner. He just doesn't have the mental traits yet, and those take time.
Yeah.
Also, like Jacorian Bennett last year, he showed flashes. Granted, he got benched after he had to face Jalen Waddle and Tyreek Hill and got put in a blender. Like that's gonna happen because Tyreek steps left and then moves right instantly, and you're still 4 yards going to the left.
Yeah.
But like, that's fine.
Did we miss at the corner position? Because you brought in Devin.
I think you missed for now, right? Like
I like Stepper because they had a top 30 visit with him. We got him as a UDFA.
I don't like the fact that I hope that Deshaun and Vic are wrong and that they aren't planning to sign a corner because, and I say this respectfully, you are doing Patrick Graham a fucking disservice. Like, if you are having Patrick Graham's just roll on out there, being forced to start Brandon Faison, who is not overly athletic. He's big and has had one good year in the NFL. Granted, with Patrick Graham, he's had one good year. Jacorian Bennett, who we have no idea what he is, or to Cameron Richardson, or somehow maybe by the love of God, Sam Webb or Cornell Armstrong, which even then I'm more scared. At corner, like, you're doing him a disservice, right? Because an NFL team is going to look, okay, here's Jack Jones, who I love Jack Jones. He had 9 weeks of good play last year. He's going to probably be good. He's an athlete. He has the traits. He has all that. Mm-hmm. But he's still not fully proven to be a great or a good NFL starting corner, right? He got cut from New England for a reason. Granted, it was the effort, but he also just wasn't he wasn't great with the Patriots.
Off field shit too,
but his time in New England, he last year at the beginning, he wasn't good either. He was good as a rookie. I think he'll be fine. Whatever. Nate Hobbs, I like Nate Hobbs. I think he's a good dude, stuff like that. As a coverage corner, like he leaves a little bit to be desired. Doesn't make a ton of plays on the ball, but he's fine in the slot, right? He's a good slot corner. But you can't put him outside. We've seen what happens. It doesn't work.
And we talked about it even at Illinois.
I would like him to get a little bit more like hands on the ball type of deal because I mean he's allowed I think like a career 75% completion rate, which is not like
it's not insane, but it's not great.
No, I mean you're playing in the slot, like that's gonna happen, but it's that's not gonna happen. You're gonna have above 60, but not above 75. But like it. Not only that, Bennett face on. You are now down a depth guy too, right? Like if one of them is starting right now, they're ideally depth. Brandon Faison is a depth corner. He's your CB5, right? CB5.
Well, hold on. If what I'm hearing right now, and I want to ask you because I didn't see what Tashawn.
This is also the guy who played one game last year after having a shin injury, actually having a knee injury, coming back for a practice, and then immediately hurting his shin. Yeah, like
I know, and that's
a concern. That's a concern.
I'm hearing that they really love him and they want him to play a big role in Graham's scheme this year, and that's scary because, bro, I've heard from people on the ground that they really think highly of Brandon Faison.
Bring in someone. If you think highly of him, bring in someone who's like a step above Brandon Faison. But if Faison or Bennett beats him out, cool. It's just another depth piece because like right now our depth pieces are.
It's nasty.
Faison or Bennett. Bennett's unproven. To Cameron Richardson, who is like barring something, is likely to just not have a good rookie year because that's like he doesn't have the mental aspect at corner.
Yeah.
Devonshire. Okay, maybe actually like he's I could see him getting more snaps.
He's a ball hawk. He's a ball hawk.
I could see him getting more snaps than Richardson for the pure fact is he's like more advanced with his mental skill. Athleticism, he's not there, and like he's like he kind of just bites on like random route concepts too much. Jaquan Shepard is Jaquan Shepard. I really don't want to go at any point this year rolling out an undrafted free agent as a rookie. It's not your smartest idea.
Hold on, let me ask you this because I didn't.
He has potential to be good though. I won't lie, he does have potential to be good.
But I'm going to ask you, what did Tashawn and Vinny B actually say? I didn't see the article. I didn't see the tweet.
Tashawn wrote an article saying he think that it's unlikely the Raiders add another veteran before camp, and I just don't. Vinny has said that through conversations with him and other things is that it depends on how the young guys look during OTAs, right? I think you're better pressed to sign someone, and if you are like, oh, we don't need him, you can cut him, right? Or than to just like assume you don't need someone. It's what got Tom Telesco fired in LA is they never had depth. The Raiders this year do have depth. Granted, a lot of their depth is like rookies and stuff who like need to step up.
Yeah.
But corner is not a position that you can just be like, oh, I think we're fine. It's one of the positions where, oh, we have too many is a good thing, right? Like being forced to have that tough cut at the end of the roster is better than someone sneaking onto the roster, right? Like the Dolphins are deep at corner. The Rams are deep at corner. All these really good teams are deep with guys that are proven, but they also have young guys who have potential to be good.
Yeah.
But I don't get if you don't draft a guy high, how you don't bring someone in.
When AP was stating that it's a clear need that we need another corner, right? And he was talking to Terrion Arnold. He was out there at his pro day.
Maybe it was smoke, and if it was, phenomenal job.
No, great.
But you got to bring someone in.
But bro, I mean, there's a shit ton of talent out there. I know Xavier Howard's off the board now, clear cut.
Oh yeah, he is. I mean, I thought he would be a potential because he knew Gerald Alexander, he knew Patrick Graham, he knew Rob Leonard. Like he was probably the best guy out there. And then he has beef with like a 9-year-old.
Yeah, it's nasty work. Nasty work.
Yeah, no, yeah, please, yeah, he's not going back to the NFL this year, probably. And if he
but
does,
who is it at this
locker room? I'd love to be a fly on that locker room.
If it's up to
Stephon Gilmore Stephon Gilmore I like. He fits the system, right? Like the zone thing, but he also just kind of stands there and lets people run by him. And he doesn't let them if they just happen to because he's lost a step.
Yeah.
Who else is there? Steven Nelson's my guy. I love Steven Nelson.
He's been
he
good everywhere he's been.
Adoree Jackson makes the most sense.
Durability
right?
issues.
That's the thing. But he sucked last year with the Giants.
Had a career year under Graham.
When you play in a Wink Martindale system, it's pretty easy to not be a great corner because you're literally left on an island one-on-one, and if you get beat, you get beat. Right?
Yes.
Like that is as simple as it is. There is no one to save you. You are on your own. And that messes with the corner too, because if he takes a step, you don't want to get beat deep because you're getting scored on a touchdown. You'd rather let him get the 6-yard curl or backside dig, like get open instead of him taking a step and going upfield and he's got a 40-yard touchdown. He also played with Graham, but I guess you said durability. It's like someone I don't know if Fabian Moreau and Trey Herndon are free agents, those two make sense if you want to bring in a veteran corner, but also give the young guys a chance, right? Like Trey Herndon and Fabian Moreau aren't guaranteed to start, but
the kid from Detroit, Scout, who had 3 picks this last year as well. He's a free agent right now.
Cameron Sutton.
Not Cameron Sutton.
I was gonna say he has his own thing where he pushes women out of a 4th floor balcony.
Oh no, we're not talking about that.
He signed with the Steelers. The Steelers signed him.
Who?
Oh, Cameron Sutton? He's down back with the Steelers.
No, I'm not talking about Cameron Sutton.
I know. I think you're talking about Amani Oruwariye.
Yes.
He played – oh, no, Jerry Jacobs. Yes.
There you go. And he has a rapport with AP, I believe. There's a connection.
I want to say – no, Jerry Jacobs went to Alabama.
Was it high school? There's a connection.
Might be high school. It might be high school.
Okay. Yeah.
There is a tweet I have with Jerry Jacobs. Not with him, about him.
He had 3 picks last year. He didn't play a lot because, they did have some injuries out there in Detroit. But
their secondary was just so meh.
Yeah.
What did I say?
Jacobs went to Arkansas. Torque. Yep.
I said Jerry Jacobs might end up with a 0.0 PFF grade. I also said Jerry Jacobs having a game. Oh, I said Jerry Jacobs this game is the definition of what not to do at corner. I'm pretty sure that was when they were playing. It was someone and he got beat for like 180 some yards or something.
Holy shit!
Yeah, there was a game last year that he got absolutely just obliterated. It was not pretty.
Dan, go find Ira. Tell Ira to pull up. I told him I got him. I got a low.
It was the Packers. He led 9 receptions on 9 targets for 101 yards, 2 touchdowns, and a perfect QBR. Was not pretty. He did allow 7 touchdowns last year, 107 QBR, but the year before that, he allowed a 74 QBR.
Yeah.
I mean, just you have to bring someone. If you don't, it's a disservice to Bennett face on Jones and Hobbs because you put the pressure on Jones and Hobbs. Like, hey, by the way, you guys can't get hurt.
I don't agree with that. I think that they're putting all the pressure on the D line. They're saying, y'all, I
think it's the D line, but I think you put a ton of pressure on Faison and Bennett. You have to be we aren't bringing in someone because we think you guys can be here, right? And when you think someone's going to be here and the player knows they're going to be here, sometimes it ends up that they get in their own head and they end up, all the way down here.
But do you think that we're going to just allow we're going to put so much pressure on opposing because they could be looking at Malcolm Kuntz having a major year this year.
Oh,
they
yeah.
Tyree stepping up in year 2 with Christian Wilkins and $100 million contract. They're expecting him to do big things. Maybe this is another reason why.
Obviously, a better a good D line makes a great secondary. A great secondary makes a good D line. A good D line can. I forget who said this phrase. A good D line can lock down an entire wide receiver core. Mm-hmm. A good corner can only lock down one.
Yes.
A good pass rusher, not a good D line. That's what it is. Yeah. So yeah, the D line could, be a huge
I just think that they think that they're going to have a top 3 D line, and it's like
on paper you do. On paper you do. Anything short of 40 plus sacks this year is probably
insane.
I think you have to get 40. I mean,
well, hey, Tom, real quick.
You're going 15.
Scouts already answered this. Salute to my big bro, Top Beats, one of the my fathers over here at OLV. He does believe we need to add a veteran cornerback. He definitely said that. And also, do you think Zeus will be an effective back for the whole season? How do you feel about that, Scout?
Yeah, as long as he stays healthy, yeah. I don't see how he isn't. I mean, those Chiefs games were phenomenal. Granted, the Chiefs weren't great, and run defense through the back end of the year, but I think he can be fine. I know Rasul Douglas would be really fucking nice to have.
That would, yes.
I don't think missing on Keyshawn Nixon was as big of a deal because he's not a good corner. He's just
special teams monster.
He's an elite special teamer. Which, by the way, Rich Bisaccia, what the fuck, dude? You had him here for 3. You had him here for 3 years, right? Like he was on the roster for 3 years, and you just leave. And did you know he could be a kick returner? And then he
becomes all pro.
By the way, it's like, oh, by the way, fuck you guys for not hiring me. Like here's an all pro. Like it's like. I'm just sitting there
the Gruden effect, man. The Gruden effect.
How did you not see this for 3 years? Like, just no one think that this guy could be a kick returner, and then he leaves, and you're like, oh shit, he's like the best kick returner in the NFL right now. Like,
yeah, I know that's. Hey, with $35 million right now at our disposal, Jimmy G post June 1st money.
Oh, thank God.
What do you do right here? Because right now we know this, right? We have Malcolm Kuntz, we have Trayvon Merrick, Divine Diablo, Robert Spillane. Nate Hobbs, all these guys, they have 1 year left on their deals, right? And we have all this money, top 5, top 7 in the league in terms of salary cap at this point. You put your GM cap on, Scout. How are you handling this $35 million? Are you going out and getting a corner? Because this is what I said, Scout.
Getting a corner.
I said you take $20 million of that. And I could be wrong. You call me on this. Gilmore's market value is $8.9 million for 1 year.
I think he gets I think any of the veteran corners are looking at 5, maybe a little bit less. But a lot of those veteran signing is all incentive space.
Well, with Vegas, no state tax, you could probably bring in Gilmore. Give him some incentives. He can still probably get up
one veteran corner and one that will fucking tackle, please.
Well, I know how you feel about Merrick, so I'm asking you: would you go get Justin Simmons?
No.
Wow.
Okay. So Simmons is like the one free agent currently. How I said everyone's incentive based. He's the one guy that's like, here's 15. I don't know. Antoine Winfield just got 21. Here's like $18 million.
What do you mean, man? It's an Oakland Raiders shirt, man. Come on, quit hating, man. Go ahead.
He's the one guy who's like, here's $18 million, and you're starting week 1 for us, right? Like, also, if I'm Justin Simmons. This is going to sound horrible because I love the Raiders. I'm not going to the Raiders. I'm not. Like, if the Eagles are like, hey, here's like 12 million, and the Raiders are like, here's 17, I'm going to the Eagles. Right? Like,
well, he's
Justin Simmons.
His market value is 11.4. It's 11.4.
Yeah, but like he's getting up there in age. Like
Vic Fangio,
he's definitely going. Like, yeah, he's also definitely going straight for he wants his ring. Now, I understand it. I would understand bringing him in, right? I think he would more replace Epps than Merrick because I think Merrick's the best. But I think you need to bring in some form of veteran at corner.
Do you look at an additional pass pressure? Because with Janarius Robinson,
you need to bring in. I think a low end pass rusher, like a 3 or 4. But he's expensive.
How? I mean, bro, he's never had over 10 sacks in the season.
That's what I'm saying. I don't know how expensive he's going to be. At this point, you're probably getting him for $2 million, actually.
How much is Yannick right now? And he does not have to run.
Yannick had a lower win rate last year than Tyree Wilson.
Okay. And he broke his foot last year, right?
There's a reason Yannick Ngakoue has been on 6 teams in 7 years.
Oh, yeah. There's a reason. He can't play the run.
Yeah, well, bad. And he's just mildly inconsistent. I love Yannick, though. He had one really good year with us, and then he was here, you're going to the Colts.
Real quick. Salute to Top Beats, my brother. I appreciate you. Salute to all the 10 new members, and salute to Indiana Raider, my guy. Salute to all the new members in the building. If you guys want to become a member, hit the link. It's pinned up top. And real quick, before Scout goes back into his spiel, bro, tell everybody where to follow you at, man.
Twitter.
Because I'm pissed. No.
Instagram for me is just kind of pointless because
we got to talk about this, Scout. I'm not going to mention
52, and then it's just
Scout. What the fuck happened, bro? Because
we're
all fighting and shit. Because Scout had over 50,000 followers on Instagram.
I was able to find out, and there was over 3,000 copyright violations filed from Las Vegas and Oakland, California, and Las Vegas. So, yeah. I got shut down through copyright violations, which were a little bit bullshit. I will say I did speak to someone I know, and there was a whole thing with like PR and like media trying to figure out who ran the account, and then there was also something one of the beat writers told me, old beat writers, that there were like currently like employed beat writers, or not currently employed but were at the time or whatever, that were with the Raiders covering, and they weren't fans of like Instagram accounts and like YouTubers, right? Like getting news stories before them.
Yeah.
And like you saw that too, because they got Rain, they got me, there's a couple others that got taken down, right? Like, but for me it was like I was at 55, or I was at like almost 60, and I was just kind of like, I started again. Well, so I started it again like immediately right after I got up.
And
to
then they
8,
took the second.
And it went down again.
Yeah.
And I was like, all right, I'm done. I waited so long, and I got this one. I started another one, and I've just been like, it's just not like when you're up, like you're up here. It's like I'm also not a high school freshman. Like I'm a junior in college, right? Like it's a big difference for me there, right? But Twitter's the big one. Honestly, just the name on the screen right now. If you just reverse it, it's my last name first. So it's Kuhn Tristan.
But does that take a lot of? Did that take a lot of your love for this shit away?
For Instagram, it did, because it was like it just was pointless. But I still on Twitter. Like if you go to Twitter, I'd say
bro, you tweet away, and I know you do.
It's more honestly active on Twitter. Like what I would post on Instagram is basically what I post on Twitter now.
Yeah.
And it's more like small shit that I wouldn't post on Instagram. Like on Instagram, I never posted scouts leaving.
You're also writing articles. Where are you writing that? Let everybody know real quick.
TWSN. There, I will post them. I post them all on my Twitter, and I'm 95% sure. Don't quote me on this yet. There's a link in the Twitter bio. I want to make sure of this. It is not. I need to put it back up there. But there should be a link in my Twitter bio that brings you right to my page, and then you can just read my shit there. I got 2 coming up tomorrow. But that's the big one. Like, I'm like, I started as a high school freshman, and I grew all the way up here, so I just kept it going. And then I'm a college junior, about to turn 21. And I was like, this is kind of like, I was like, yeah. I mean, you guys can definitely also follow my personal Instagram, like 3 of you just requested to do, which is,
phenomenal.
Interesting. Phenomenal. Though, if you want the Raiders news, please go to Twitter, because I don't post that on my personal Instagram.
Yeah, man. And you know what's crazy, you guys? Scout put it out there, bro. This is sometimes why we try to stay away from insider information, because when we get it, people don't like that we get that. Scout, how many things have we talked? How many stories have we broke behind the scenes?
There's tons. Like it's not like
where we just never talked about it because we couldn't, because we already knew we got canceled and all kind of
like. It's not just an NFL thing. Like it's a PR thing too. Like, because if you're an employed beat writer, and I respect them, is like it's a difficult job, right? Like they got like their whole thing is just about finding something with news.
Yeah.
If you're that guy and you're promised that if there's information, you're going to get it, but someone else is getting it, someone who's not even affiliated with the team, you're going to be a little bit like annoyed by that, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it makes sense because your job is breaking stories and making money off the clicks and the views you get. But if someone else has it already, you're just beating a dead horse on your story.
Yeah.
So like it happened. I understood it. It was annoying at the time. But honestly, Twitter's a lot more fun than Instagram because
you get away with a lot more over there too.
A, they also pay better, and B, it's just like, man, it's so much easier to just write something on Twitter than have to go make the graphic, post it on Instagram, and then do all the other stuff.
Yeah, bro, are you over there playing the piano or some shit? What are you doing?
Oh, it's my keyboard on my laptop. Is like,
okay. Like, what the fuck?
Annoying clicking keys. Again, also from when I was a freshman in high school, I was like, oh, clicking keys. And now I'm like, what the fuck was I thinking?
Yo, I'm going to ask you this. I'm going to ask you this.
In class, I'm just like clicking away. I'm like, damn, bro.
Everybody knows you for that. I want to ask you this. Five potential surprise, not easy ones where we can say, oh, this, and that. 5 surprise cuts that you can see happening going into training camp.
Oh, cuts. I did. funny enough, there is an article I made about 5 surprise players that could make the roster. I think I've mentioned all of them so far today.
Okay.
So if you want to go read that, it's somewhere.
Well, no. Well, look.
Twitter.
We'll
No, I know.
talk
I'm saying
about
if you guys want to go read it, I'm gonna put it up probably later.
Oh, put the article in the chat. We would love to read it because definitely, bro.
I'm gonna put the link to. I'll put the link to.
And this is
also,
5 players that can potentially make the roster or not.
This is 5 that I could. Yeah, that 5 could make the roster. Yes.
Okay, so we're gonna go the opposite way. Put the link in the chat so people can see it. But we want to hear 5 players that you can see potentially cut going into training camp.
Give me 1 second. I gotta connect my YouTube to this, even though
you're good. And I don't really see any player that could potentially get cut because of salary cap ramifications.
There's none. The 2 that were have already been cut.
Yeah.
The 2 that have already been. So the link, right? Okay. Well, the comment has failed to post because a while ago someone blocked my personal email from your website.
Send it to the private chat right now, and I'll put it.
I was like, I remember that every time I try to comment. There he goes. I
got it.
I don't think anyone can get cut for. All right. Let's see. Surprise that could get cut. Surprise. I think. Okay, Michael Gallup makes sense as a surprise one. I think most people expect him to make it. I'll say Gallup. How much is this? Is what I want to see. Okay, I see what you guys are saying about the clip about the damn keyboard.
I got it up right there too, you guys. Go follow our brother right there. TWSN.net/author/Tristan Cole right there. Go support our guy.
So Harrison Bryant, you only save $600K by cutting him, so I don't think it's the point. But I could see it. Like if you only carry 3 tight ends, you could theoretically cut him, and then you end up with like Cole Fatherham or John Samuel Shanker. But I think if you're carrying 3 tight ends, it seems pointless because your second or first tight end, whatever, is basically a slot receiver. So
yeah.
But I'll go Gallup. Harrison Bryant. Again, I don't think either of them get cut. Chris Smith. I loved Chris Smith out of Georgia, but man. It was just bad last year. He didn't get any play time, and with Trey Taylor coming in, who I didn't get to talk about. Beast, love the dude. He's gonna be phenomenal. He'll
be on the show here soon as well. Salute to Trey.
He's such a good dude.
Yeah,
was so good at Air Force. The only problem is he like struggled in coverage here and there. He's a good athlete. You can teach him.
Yeah.
So Chris Smith, Harrison Bryant, Michael Gallup. Who else?
There's a few names. I see.
There's a few. Low-key, Brandon Faison would be surprising, but I don't think it will. I'll go with this would be shocking to some people. I'll say MJ Devonshire for the fact that the Raiders, I think, have had their rookies like make the opening roster. Like I don't remember the last time a Raiders opening rookie, like a Raiders rookie didn't make the
that we actually roster. Drafted that wasn't a UDFA.
Yeah. I think it's been a while since that's happened.
It's been a while.
I could see it happening. I don't know if it will. So give me him, and then I'm trying to think D-line wise.
D-line.
Byron Young, because he just did fuck all last year.
Nothing.
He had like 7 snaps.
Yeah.
Like,
Matthew Butler as well.
Well,
that's not a surprise cut though.
Yeah. Byron Young, I think there's potential. He's an athlete. PFF has their whole WAR thing. He had, if you understand baseball, you understand WAR. It's wins above replacement. Mm-hmm. It's like how valuable you are to the compared to the rest of the league. He played I think it was 15 or 25 snaps last year, and he had a negative 0.1 WAR. He played so little, he just was still he just didn't do anything.
Can you see him do the opposite of what a Tyree Wilson did? And can you see him getting snaps on the outside? Because he did play some edge at Alabama.
He could, but I think your best role for him is if you're running like a 3-down lineman with Kuntz and Crosby on the outside of the tackle, that he's one of those 3. It's like Adam Butler, Christian Wilkins, him. Because Christian Wilkins can play, or you switch them because Adam Butler can play the nose and Christian Wilkins at the end.
Yeah.
But I don't know, he's a 3rd rounder. I don't really want to cut him because he's an athlete, but he did nothing.
Regime,
Speaking of which, It's former, but it's still not former because Rob Leonard and Patrick Graham are still here, and they weren't they still kind of drafted him a little bit. Speaking of which, we mentioned the money. They need another fucking D tackle. It's bad.
Another one.
Wilkins, if Wilson isn't playing inside, like Graham said, he isn't.
He won't be playing there all the time.
He'll play a little bit, but you have Wilkins, Adam Butler as your only two true 3 techs. After that, it's Byron Young, Byron Young. What is it? It's Byron Young, Matthew Butler, and Tamari Fox and Noah Shannon. That is so just no. Like it's good, it's phenomenal, good, and then oh god,
yeah. And for the nation, the reason why he didn't mention John Jenkins and Nesta J, they're nose tackles. So there's a reason why. Good.
Nesta, I could put him as a surprise cut because he didn't get much. He didn't get much play time at the end of last year.
Oh no.
And then it's Marquand McCall. I'm fine with.
I like McCall, bro.
I do too. I'm fine with one nose. I'm fine because Adam Butler and Christian Wilkins play there. That's fine. You don't really need one. Nesta probably makes it. But if Adam Butler goes down, are you really comfortable with Byron Young or Matthew Butler getting consistent 40+ snaps a game for who knows how long? It's a little bit concerning, and I'm not putting Tyree Wilson inside full time because his best bet playing inside is when it's random here and there, and he can just blow by the guard who's not expecting that much power.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you traded Byron Young, you probably get actually less. Well, I think got a 7th or was it a 5th for New York Federal last year?
Well, I typed on. I retweeted you the other day. And I said Calais Campbell, a guy that could play inside and out.
I would bring Calais Campbell, except he might be a little expensive. He might retire, and he might want to go to a team that's chasing a ring. Then again, he just played for the Falcons. But it's not the interior. The interior D line is not great when it comes to talent available right now. So I wonder if what they'll do is if they realize they might need another interior D tackle, is they just hold on until that first wave of camp cuts or when rosters get trimmed down and you grab a guy there. Because I think there's a D tackle currently. There's a D tackle in a corner that will make the week 1 roster that currently aren't on the roster, if that makes sense.
No, definitely. Is there any free agent that you can think of right now in terms of
it's D-line? D tackles it gets so depleted throughout the free agency because teams just bring in a bunch of guys to compete and they just start cutting them down. It's just I think you gotta wait there. I did see some other people mentioning some surprise ones, and I wanted to address 1 or 2 of them. Divine Diablo is a starting linebacker.
He's not.
I see why you think he could get cut.
Fort put it out there. He said Diablo, white hair, which I can see Cody Whitehair.
I can see Cody Whitehair. I could see Amir. I could see Gallup. I can see Chris Smith. Diablo is interesting. He's a starting linebacker. Showed zero. There was no way he was getting beat out last year.
Yeah.
I like Luke Masterson. Funny enough, he had an 89 PFF grade last year.
Yeah.
Not that this doesn't mean anything, but he was
been balling, bro. Yeah. You watched this tape at Wake Forest, right? He was cooking out there too.
Yeah. He's fine. He's
a good special team player as well.
3rd, 4th linebacker.
Yeah.
Eichenberg is going to probably struggle a little bit as a rookie because he just doesn't. At Ohio State, even though I was it last year, he doesn't break down runs that well. He's a good run defender. Don't get me wrong, but he kind of shuffles his feet for a second, which works in college. In the NFL, it doesn't work. You're gonna be 2 steps behind.
Yeah.
Do I think Diablo comes back after next year? No, unless he has some absurd year.
I agree.
But he's an average starting linebacker, and that's fine. Robert Spillane was a replacement level starter. That's now an above average starter because Patrick Graham. Yeah. Mike Caldwell is Mike Caldwell. He's been really good as a linebacker coach.
You see Amari Burney or Gaynor out of North Carolina.
I like Amari Gaynor. I don't know where he's playing because UNC played him off the edge. He can play off the edge.
He's more of an edge rusher. He's not the traditional linebacker. He's more of a guy.
But he's also a guy that can drop back and
Yeah.
In 60% of his time, he truly can be a 50-50 guy. 50% pass rush, 50% coverage.
Did you watch him at Florida State?
Oh yeah. I don't know why he didn't stay there.
Yeah.
I mean, he's a good dude. I've talked to him a few times. Like, I don't know why he didn't stay there. I mean, I get it, whatever. But I don't know where he's gonna stay.
It's a weird position.
I feel like he's a guy you kind of like. Linebacker seems to be. You got Spillane, you got Diablo, Masterson, and Eichenberg. I think all four of them are kind of guaranteed a spot.
Yeah.
Amari Burney is not like within it's a new regime, but he was still drafted by AP. AP's the head coach. Patrick Graham's there.
Darian Butler,
athletic freak. Also, he is a career Brock Bowers highlight tape victim because it's the one where like he puts his hand up and like hits his hand, and then it just like bounces off his helmet into Brock Bowers' hands. Yeah. Amari Burney's like most notable moment in college, like, is him getting just like a good play that just Brock Bowers beats him on.
Yeah. But I like Gaynor because he does something that none of our other linebackers do.
He can coverage and pass rush off the edge. You can put him on the edge. You can put him in coverage. It's like he's interesting. Amari Burney's a freak athlete.
Yes.
Darian Butler,
undersized.
I wonder if he somehow sneaks in because of AP, even though he's just not been good, and he's also coming off.
He could be a good special team player, though, Scout.
His knee basically exploded. Like he tore 3 ligaments. Like it was bad. Mm-hmm. I hope he can come back and he can perform, but it's like a brutal injury. Curtis Bolton,
entire season last year.
Curtis Bolton could make it for the fact that he's a special teams standout. Like he's just good in that role. You keep your special teams guys.
Yeah,
I think that's it for linebacker, unless I'm forgetting someone.
No, I mean pretty much that's pretty much what we have at this point.
But like I feel like the Raiders.
Curtis Bolton still on the roster?
He is. Yes, he is.
Curtis Bolton.
Oh wait, is he? Oh, he is. He is not. I lied. It's Kanai Muaga, who's also a special teams guy. So
I don't think he makes his roster.
I don't think he makes it. But like safety, you have Epps, you have Smerig, you have Polamalu. I think Patrick Graham came out, or was it Ricky Manning? One of the two came out, or Gerald Alexander. He was like, "Oh, we're relying on Isaiah Polamalu," which you should, considering he's 6'4" and runs a 4.4. Thank you. Yeah. I think it's Chris Smith.
I think it's more of a box safety this year, though. You get him closer to the line of scrimmage.
Oh yeah,
and just have him go get the quarterback.
One pick was when he has had one pick where he was like all the way downfield, and Tua just said, "I'm going to overthrow everyone."
Yeah.
He's like a good mid-range guy. He's a decent third safety. He has potential to develop. I don't think he can ever truly be a full-time starter.
Yeah.
But I think he can be a like 400 or 500 snaps guy.
What UDFAs make this roster?
What UDFAs?
Well, like the active roster, not practice squad.
Yeah. So I said I just said Chris Smith and Trey Taylor. Meh. It's not meh. I like Trey Taylor. I'm just saying I don't think either is going to really contribute this year because.
Well, I spoke to my guy.
Chris Smith makes it.
Force today. They have Trey Taylor out there getting reps on special teams right now.
I mean, like defensively, I don't know if either one like fully gets a ton of snaps this
year.
We're
deep at the safety position, so there's no real reason.
We are. Again, it's also one of those things where it's like they're deep. Polamalu will not get cut. I mean, your DC doesn't come out and say we're relying on a guy just to cut him.
Yeah.
3 months later. He also has a connection. I think. There's a connection with Graham. He has some like he was recruited by Pierce out of high school, so they have that connection too.
Who was it?
Like Pierce recruited him at Arizona State, I think.
Who?
No, Polamalu and Pierce have like a little bit of a connection because
the LA connection is definitely there for sure.
He's also worked with the linebackers. Like he's not just worked strictly safeties; he worked with linebackers a lot.
Yeah.
But again, it's like one of those positions where they're deep, but they're not like there's not like a lot of deep talent, but there's like a lot of
the depth is there. It's like, I mean,
unlike D tackle where they're very top heavy and then it's just
Do you see Mary? Matter of fact, before I go to UDFAs, I'm going to ask you the players that get extensions in Scout's eyes. Who are they?
All right. Realistically, right?
And I'm grabbing my copy right now, so I want to hear you do that. I'll be right back.
This is on me. So realistically, you can say Coons. It makes sense for you to lock him up, but I don't know if you're really going to water.
I'm listening. I'll be right back.
I know. I gotta grab water real quick. I don't think if you're if you're Kuntz, you do want to make an extension because if you think about it, if you're not good enough this year, not good enough, if you don't live up to the hype that they have the hype on you for, if you still have the year to fall back on, and like you can kind of bet on yourself. So I think he should get an extension, but I think if he's smart, he doesn't like really go into an extension. Then again, if you're the Raiders, you just pull up the fact that Josh Uche got like $3 million, and you're like, hey, this is what happens if you're just like, oh, here's, I think I'm gonna get a contract, and you just look, hey, Josh Uche got $3 million. Y'all are basically the same player. I think Kuntz should see one. I don't know if he agrees to one. Hobbs, I'm gonna get hate for this. My priority is not locking up a nickel corner. I want to see Hobbs get more play on the ball. Obviously, I think Hobbs gets his deal done.
And durability.
I think durability too. I think he gets a deal done. I think he's going to.
I agree. Because right now, technically, who's our backup nickel at this point, Scout? We lit Tyler Hall.
I have a depth chart. It is Sam Webb,
nasty,
fun, and Wool Governor,
nasty. Salute to Wool too. Good guy.
You could play Rashad Williams in the slot. He's just 6'4".
Texas Tech, right?
Yeah. Tyree Wilson was hyped to get him. He DM'd me. He was like, "Do we sign Rashad Williams?" I was like, "Yeah." I was like, "That's your former teammate." So I thought you would know that by now. But
salute to Wool Governor too.
I think Mary gets it done. To be honest, I said this. He's an above average starting free safety. I don't really got a problem with that. You can get a lot worse.
He took a lot of reps at the nickel spot at TCU too. He played a lot.
He did, yeah. Like yeah. You can get a lot worse at your starting free safety. I know he drops a lot of interceptions. He's had a broken hand like 2 years in a row.
Yeah.
His forced incompletion rate has been top 15 or 20 last year. His career, it's been, I think since he got drafted, it's like 22nd in the league or something. I just had this conversation with someone.
I'm definitely taking a monster shit tonight, Mondo. Monster coffee and beer shit for sure.
But it's like, he's fine. Keep your free safety. He's legit 24 years old going into his fourth year in the NFL.
But what does that contract look like? If you're extending,
I think like 2 years, 16, maybe he gets 20 million total. But I think 16. I think 8 million a year is more than fine. Epps is getting 6-ish. Okay. Like he's getting an average of 6, but it's like
2 for 12 right now. I don't think we bring back Epps at all either.
I don't think we do. I think you draft a safety, Xavier Watts, but.
Ooh, okay.
I posted that too. I was like the Raiders starting safety duo in 2025. It was like Trey Murray and Xavier Watts. And all you USC fans probably are hating the name Xavier Watts, considering he had like the most legendary game in history as a safety against USC. Dude, he's phenomenal. But I think Mary gets his done, right? Because it's hard to find above average starting safeties in the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
Agreed. It's easier to find starting nickel corners. I'll say that.
Where does Malcolm in all this? Because I
think Malcolm should be talent wise. He's one, but you have Tyree. And I don't think Malcolm is going to want to get into contract extension. I think he's going to want to bet on himself, right? So I think he ends up at the bottom. Realistically, Spillane is the one guy. He's like, all right, my value has never been higher, so I'm gonna just take my money, and I like it in Las Vegas. I like Max Crosby, and I'm gonna stay here, right? So I think he gets his done first, and then I think it's Merrick, and then I think Hobbs and Kuntz get weighted on a little bit.
Okay.
There's another guy on offense is a little bit like you could see him. Dylan Parham is going actually like he's now eligible for a contract extension.
But it's too early for that, man.
It is too early. Jack Jones is eligible in like a couple months, I think.
But you want to see him continue.
No, I lied. Him and Parham have to play the entire season before they can get a contract.
This is their third year on both their respective deals.
Yeah. You have to finish your third year before you can negotiate a contract. Myers technically is eligible for an extension. Colt Miller is deserving of one. I don't know if they give him one because he's like the 19th highest paid tackle right now.
Yeah,
like a little pay raise.
Hit him with the max. Hit him with the max treatment. Throw him a couple dollars.
Yeah. Or like add him a year. Like add a year. Like this is gonna sound crazy. Add a year that's like worth $20 million. That just like, or no, sorry. Add a year that like it's like a 1 year $40 million extension, but in reality it's only like 30. It's only like 28 million, and you just spread the other 12 over the rest of the other years he's got.
They do that a lot in today's NFL.
Yeah, it makes sense. You make a stupid high 1 year deal that resets the market, and then it's like, actually, no, it just, it's like down here. Like, Epps technically had a 2 year, $12 million deal, but it was just 1 year, $4 million.
Yeah.
I think that's everyone that's, if you're smart, just give Adam Butler another damn year, please. Don't do this whole let Adam Butler go into free agency thing and we sign Christian Wilkins, and it's like, oh, we might get him back, and then we got him back, but it was everyone. I was a little bit worried. I was like, if we don't get him back, we're kind of.
I know, and he took a hometown super deal, Scout.
Yeah,
he's not
give him another year. Like 5.5 sacks is not just a random year for him. Like, he's done it throughout his career, right? Like the Dolphins gave him 2 years and $11 million for a reason.
Scout, what's for you right here, bro? You want to read this?
Do you think Telesco trades Kuntz next year, and do you think Wilson is better than Kuntz? I think Kuntz is the better player. Thoughts? Kuntz is the better player for now. Wilson, I think, can be the better player. If Kuntz has a good year and Wilson has a good year, and you're like, all right, cool, we got Tyree Wilson to show what we want Tyree Wilson to show. You tag Malcolm Kuntz, and you're like, all right, you're going somewhere, and I'm getting the second round pick for you because I'm not letting you walk for nothing.
Hey, Scout, who was the one person, man, that hyped up Malcolm Kuntz?
You. I think everyone thought he was going to be good. It's just like. No,
me and you talked about him before people even knew who the hell he was. And then we were live. We took him in the third round, which was a shocker.
So disappointed when he just did not. Well, he just never got any snaps. But granted, he was also in the snaps he did get, like, I think the literal back-to-back years, the worst run defending edge rusher in those limited snaps. Like, he was allowing like 17 or something yards per carry or something. It was absurd.
Yeah.
And last year he was good. Last year he was like a good run defender. He learned what he was supposed to do. Still struggled at times, but like it was like, all right, he is got a good run defender. And shockingly, Chandler Jones goes off the rails. Malcolm Kuntz gets playtime, and Malcolm Kuntz struggles a little bit. And he's like, all right, I'm just gonna have the most dominant second half season of almost every pass rusher in the league.
8.5 sacks in 8 games.
Yeah. I'm going to have a higher pass rusher win rate than Max Crosby, which he did. I'm going to have in those games a higher pressure rate than Crosby in, I think, 2 or 3 of them, which he did. And the dude just forces fumbles. Like, he just comes out of nowhere. He's like, that's mine now.
Yeah.
He also just, it was the one play he like absolutely just killed Mahomes. Like, just straight helmet into his back. And I was like, all right.
I love that shit.
I was like, damn. And Mahomes fumbled, and then Mahomes got it back. But, like, he's, like, he has so much potential to be so good. Like, he has potential to be, like, he is like a like, his ceiling, that was stupid. His ceiling is like Matthew Judon, if that makes sense. Like a really, like a low-end number one, really, really high second pass rusher. And I'm taking that every day.
Mm-hmm.
Mayock crushed his final draft.
He did.
Yeah, I mean, he was like, I'm gonna get fired, but like I'm gonna do good. I'm also gonna take Tyrese Gillespie in the 4th round, who just fell off the face of the earth.
Yeah, Missouri boy. Where the fuck is he at now?
UFL. Same with Garyon Conley, who I know is your boy.
I actually
and Marquette King.
You a hater, bro.
No, he's just not.
No. I'm gonna wait for this. I'm gonna call Marquette,
Please, no.
I want Marquette and Scout to talk on a live together because
What the fuck? I know. Like, I'm not. What is he going to be to talk about? He's not going to willingly agree that I said his career numbers weren't as great as they're made out to be. Again, I was like 12 when he was punting for the Raiders. I was 12. I didn't understand football.
Well, in Top, I know his real story, so I understand. I've heard all of it.
Yeah,
I feel like that he hates Tom McMahon. He hates him more than anybody.
Oh no, I do think King should still be in the league. I think he will be in the league. I think after this UFL season, he most likely will make it into the league. I think
All-Pro UFL this year.
Now, I will say there probably is going to be a thing of special teams coordinators. I don't know if this thing telling him to stop getting fucking penalties on punts. That might be a little bit kind of pushed out, but like,
no, look. Scout is the greatest shit talker on these lives, you guys. Look, and Marquette.
I remember when I got cooked for my Jonathan Abram take, and then
bro. But what happened? Where the fuck is he at now? You were actually right.
He's still in the Saints.
But he's asparagus.
He was on the Packers, the Saints, and the Seahawks in a single year.
Yeah.
He had a pick. I don't know how in the world Jonathan Abram has more career interceptions than Nate Hobbs. Now, bro, I don't think Nate Hobbs is great at getting his hands on the ball. But how Jonathan Abram has 4 career interceptions. Now Jonathan Abram started 4 games last year. Color me surprised.
He has to do more.
Now he's still wearing number 24.
Hobbs has to do more this year because the coverage.
You have to get picks. Like if you're a nickel corner in the NFL, you have to make turnovers. It's just that simple. His run defense is elite. He's probably the best run defending nickel in the world. But it is.
He's a subtle, sarcastic king. Facts.
Get fucking picks, please. Just get your hand on the balls. Balls. Yeah. Ball.
Hey,
ball, not balls. Ball.
Hey,
balls.
Ball. I'm definitely screenshotting this and we're uploading it. Salute to the chat. All right, look, I got one more question because we're coming up on 2 hours. I know you're in the East Coast. It's about to be 1 o'clock in the morning. I don't want to keep.
I don't really care.
But we here. But I want to ask you this: give me 3 players that have.
One question usually turns into like 6 more.
I know, right? 3 players that have breakout years this year. And I want to see, because I'm asking this question for a specific reason, because I want to see if quarterback is going to be in play in this conversation.
I just thought Abrams could never cover Tyreek Hill. Abrams could never cover fucking anything. Sorry.
You didn't show with me, you and Andy. You was like, it got quiet, and he was just like, Jonathan Abrams fucking sucks.
Yeah. I will say with Hobbs too, that play against the Chiefs was fucking phenomenal. The one where he came across, like, just do that more often, we're good. But because like he's shown he can do it, and then it just sometimes he doesn't.
3 players that have big years for us.
3 breakout players. All right, we're going. I want to say the starting quarterback, right? But like, if Gardner Minshew starts, I know what Gardner Minshew is going to give me.
If it's not, bro, don't force it. Who is 3 players that first come to mind?
Michael Mayer. I'm not doing rookies because rookies can't have a breakout season.
Well, Mayer can have a breakout season.
I'm saying I'm not going to say rookies. Like I could say Brock.
Okay, got you.
I'm going to go Michael Mayer. I'm going to go Dylan Parham.
I like that.
He's going to be a Pro Bowl level guard this year.
Ooh, I thought you were going to say Mumford. I like that though.
I mean both of them. And who's the other one that comes to mind?
Jack Jones.
All right. We're going.
You only get to pick 3.
I know. I'm trying to think.
You got 2 players on the offensive side of the ball thus far.
Steve, who is Moreau? Are you saying Foster Moreau? You mean the Saints' 3rd string tight end, Foster Moreau? I hope you mean Mayer.
I think Steve meant Mayer.
Dude, I hope Moreau. Speaking of which, I hope Moreau does good on the Saints.
Thanks.
But
I'm always rooting for Moreau.
that's a great story so far too.
Yes.
All right, defensively, Tyree Wilson, this dude is having 8 sacks.
Ooh, so he's gonna have a Malcolm Kuntz kind of year this year.
Yeah, but Kuntz is also gonna have like 14.
Hold
I think
on.
our edge rusher. I think our 3 edge rushers can have 30 plus sacks.
Talk. Hold on, Malcolm Kuntz.
I'm not gonna say it, but if Kuntz had more sacks than Crosby, I wouldn't be overly surprised. I don't think he will, but like there's a realm where he does because Crosby is getting double teamed and Kuntz is just running free.
You're wrong, Scout. You keep forgetting that
No.
Christian Wilkins is there in the middle of that defensive line.
I know, but what I'm saying is like it's you have like no matter
Max
what
needs 20 sacks this year, bro. 18 to 20.
I think Crosby's gonna have like 18. But I think Kuntz at the same time Kuntz realistically could have anywhere from like 1.5 if whatever happened last year was just like a fluke to like 15. I think his realm is like that 10 to 13 range probably. But there is a world where Kuntz just struggles. Like last year, whatever clicked last year just doesn't click again, like Spencer Torkelson.
Agreed, it can happen.
And he just kind of ends up like not in AAA like Spencer Torkelson, but he ends up. That's a baseball reference that hurts.
I know.
I hate.
Does Adam Miller have 5?
I feel like every year in his career he's just never gotten 5. No, I'm not saying it's a fluke. He's worked his ass off, but it's football and like stuff happens. Like we've seen players have phenomenal seasons and then they just kind of go like that. Like Duke Shelley, there's a good one. He had 16 breakups with the Vikings, like the lowest QBR allowed in the NFL, and he got cut from us and cut from the Rams. Like it's football. Stuff happens. Some players have like really good years, but Kuntz I don't think is one of those. But you never know. It's football.
But if he started all last season, he could have had 14.
Oh yeah. If you have 2 really good back-to-back seasons, it's most likely not. But like whenever a player has one kind of like up here season, you're a little bit worried.
Marco, me too. I was so hyped about Duke.
Dude, I don't know how like you have 17, 16 breakups, allow the lowest QBR in the NFL, and then you just fall off a cliff.
It was nasty.
I don't even know if he's on a team. Speaking of which, very first free agent we signed, what was it? 2021, Darius Phillips.
Damn.
In the fucking UFL. Why? Like, I still want to know the thought process of Dave Ziegler. And he's like, you know what? I'm going to sign my first free agent is Darius Phillips. Like, was that the only guy you could get a contract agreed with? or did you just like,
and we as Raider fans were like, yes.
You didn't sign anyone the first day. They signed no one. I remember we were
Darius
online, and they signed jack shit. And then I wake up that morning, I go to class, and it's the Raiders have signed Darius Phillips. I'm standing there, I'm like, is he the only guy that you could get to agree to sign? Or were you like, you know what? I need him. I need this guy I'm gonna cut before a season even starts. And then they also signed that year. That year was bad. They signed, what was it, John Brown? No, John Brown got signed the year before.
Yeah.
Bilal Nichols, how he got $26 million from the
Arizona.
Cardinals.
He finessed Arizona.
He finessed us.
That's facts. Well, you know why? Because
then there's Chandler Jones. Then there was who else did they sign that year? Not Jacoby. He was the next year. There was the Jimmy G thing, which I'm still convinced someone snuck something into that man's Lunchable, right? Like, he just magically is gonna get cut, and then it's like, oh, by the way, he just magically is taking steroids now, the most ineffective steroids.
They put like 6 rhino pills in his lunchbox.
Yeah, they made that man a protein shake, and they it was one of those things where they set it down, someone else went to grab it, and they slapped his hand away.
They just sprinkle some fentanyl in there.
No way. Like that was just too good a timing that he just magically gets, and it was just enough for only 2 games, but all his money comes off the book. It's like, really?
You know what? I got okay, I promise. Salute to the chat. We're coming up on 2 hours. We got 5 minutes till 2 hours. This is my last question. I promise you this.
No, I don't care.
Starting offense, starting defense, from position to position. I've already done mine. Who is your starting offense first? We're gonna go defense.
It probably was. It was probably something. All right. Quarterback.
I want to hear this.
Carter Bradley.
Scout in the building.
Carter Bradley, definitely.
Hey, I heard he looks good too. That's what's so fucking crazy.
I mean, it is.
That's measurables. He has the arm strength.
His dad's with Gus Bradley.
Yeah.
So it'll be the definition of mid.
Mid.
Or the definition of it's kind of working, and I could change it to stop them from throwing the check down every time. But
is he going to be the first bend don't break quarterback?
Probably. He's gonna be the first. Like, oh, I got it to like 3rd and 3, guys.
Yeah, like, right? What else do you want from me, man?
He's like, I got it to the 3-yard line every time. I know I have 0 passing touchdowns, but I also have 0 interceptions. Did we score a single passing touchdown this year? No.
Yeah.
But
facts.
We didn't have a turnover.
I'll start it. Quarterback. Who's your starting quarterback?
Aiden O'Connell.
Who's your starting wide receivers?
I will say with quarterback one thing though.
Okay.
That battle. I know O'Connell's the starter. That battle's going through at least week 4.
Oh, clear.
That battle is not done unless O'Connell comes out and he just chucks like 450 yards, which please do. I don't even know who we're playing, to be honest. I forgot.
What is it?
It's the Chargers, right? Week 1's the Chargers?
Chargers week 1.
Okay, that's what I thought. Yeah, I mean, they have a horrible secondary.
Baltimore week 2.
Yards.
Carolina week 3.
All right, so theoretically it should be 2-1.
Yep, exactly.
And that loss will be to the Panthers. But
yeah, the Raiders, right?
Yeah.
First home game against the lowly
blow out the Ravens, and the Panthers just walk in and they're just like, hey, by the way,
back road wins and we go home and lose to the fucking Panthers, bro.
That will be a test for the D-line. But anyway, quarterbacks, O'Connell. Receivers,
a lot of 12 personnel. So the
receivers is Adams. It's Adams, Myers, Tucker, in my opinion. Same thing as last year. Running back is Zeus. I think that one's kind of locked in. Tight end, tight end's Bowers and Mayer. Bowers is going to be in the slot in your Y, and Mayer's your in-line, and I don't care what everyone says.
Yeah. Facts.
Left tackle is anyone. If it's anyone other than Colton Miller,
you have a problem.
Shit.
We will win 4 games this year.
O'Connell's just going to get murdered.
Yeah,
Actually, I like Thayer.
You know, Mumford looked good at left tackle.
I like Thayer more at left tackle.
Yeah.
Like, he could be an adequate left tackle.
But he's not Colton Miller.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Left guard is JPJ. Center's Andre James. Right guard is Parham. And right tackle is Mumford. I don't know if it's a battle. I think the only battle on the O-line, like starting wise, is who's starting at what guard spot. Like, you know who your starters are, but who, like, where are they at? Is it left? Is it Parham at left or right? And then JPJ.
Parham played a lot at right guard in Memphis. That is his bread and butter.
It's his better position. He also played it. He also played it that Pete has been getting all the reps at left tackle. Miller is out.
Yeah. But I mean, but rightfully so right now. I mean, he's a 3-time Pro Bowler. I mean, I know he fucking
at guard.
Yeah, I know.
He was so bad at tackle, they moved him to guard, and he was like, meh.
Yeah.
He like.
And Mumford said he prefers the left side. That's so crazy.
Well, he played left side all of college and high school, probably.
He moved around guard.
Yeah.
Tackle.
Well, we got moved to guard because Aiden Hutchinson picked him up and threw him 3 yards.
But I agree with your offense thus far. I agree.
I mean, that's basically the entire offense right there.
Yeah, no, it is completely. Defense side football.
So your weak side edge is going to be Kuntz.
Malcolm Kuntz. Mm-hmm.
Your strong side's definitely not that Max Crosby fella. Your interior D line, you probably have like Christian Wilkins rotating in. Probably, I think. Yeah, I mean, 100 million is not that much.
It's not that much. Yeah, he'll get a few
it's
reps
not.
here and there.
I like how no one predicted us to sign him, and we just were like, they was just like, by the way, the Raiders are signing Christian Wilkins to a shit ton of money.
Salute the GM. Yes.
The giant bed he has.
Oh, that's just
it's like 20 yards long.
Irresponsible, bro.
He just got 100 million. I don't think he cares.
Just irresponsible. He spent it all on the bed, bro.
Yeah, probably. He's actually he has nothing else. He lives in a house, and the only room is just for that bed.
The bed. Yeah, it's nasty. John Jenkins is hard nose.
It's Kuntz, Jenkins, Wilkins, Crosby. I mean Butler theoretically will start, but Jenkins is your nose, and that's fine because he's just gonna stand there. I remember you said we were signing some guy named John Jenkins, and we both said, "Who the fuck is that?" And then he had he had a career season.
Two and a half sacks last year, played the run well.
He's had a career high in every statistic, and also ran back a 63-yard touchdown or something on the damn.
Well, I did hit you up about a sign.
Yeah. You DM me. You're like, "Oh, we're signing John Jenkins," and we both were like, "Who?"
Yeah, we're like, "What the fuck going on?"
And then he just went off, and then the fumble 6.
Yeah.
The Chargers let a guy who's like 345 pounds and almost eligible for Social Security benefits just run one back on him.
Thick 6, baby.
Love John Jenkins. He's a really cool guy.
Hell yeah.
Corner is Jack Jones.
Jacorian at this point,
Nickel
right?
corner is Nate Hobbs. Well, you say Brandon Faison is apparently their love child.
They love him. I'm telling you, man, they do.
I'm gonna go Jacorian Bennett because he started last year. I just don't think he will not start again because he's gonna be better.
Agree.
And then linebacker, they only run 2. It's gonna be Spillane and Diablo. I pray at any moment if it's Spillane and Eichenberg because someone's going to die. As I mentioned in my report on Eichenberg, every team has that guy who plays like they're on crack, and it's him. It's just like he played with 2 broken hands. Like, bro, you can't play with broken hands. It's just you can play with 1. It's difficult, but 2.
That motherfucker out there like this.
Yeah, he was running around with thumbs up the entire time.
Yeah.
Like,
hey, he damn near came down with a pick, bro.
Yeah, and I also know that every poor running back, he was just taking that thing and smacking their arm with it to make them fumble. Yeah, he was probably dudes were coming into that pile with just claw marks on their arm from that damn cast. And then free safeties Merrick, strong safeties Epps, kicker and punter are the literal only 2 kickers and punters on the roster.
Is there any interesting players that you have that are going to rotate in and out that may see a lot of reps, like a
Polamalu, Faison, Masterson, because he was good. He was good.
Plus,
people hate him. He's insane versus the run. Adam Butler will rotate in. Janarius Robinson. Okay. The DUI
I watched him at Florida State, Scout. He was a great pass rusher.
The DUI, he was a 4th-round pick for a reason. The DUI thing was one thing. That I think that's taken care of. He had like a 20-some% win rate last year. Like he was just cooking dudes. Rob Leonard is in his bag there. Mm-hmm. I hope David Agoa makes the roster because the dude.
But does he have to?
No, he really I wrote in the article I was like, he could make the roster, but if the Raiders are smart, you literally can just put him on the practice squad and he can just sit there for free.
How long does the international portal work? How many years?
This is his last year. You only get 2 years.
Gotcha.
So you let him sit there and maybe you promote him for a game, but the dude's an athletic freak. He played on Nigeria's basketball team, had MLB looks for baseball, was gonna make a UFC debut. The dude just kind of
he's an athlete.
Yeah, he's the definition of an athlete. I wish we could just put him through the combine and just see what the measurables were. If he made the roster, that'd be fun. Their edge depth's weird. I know you asked the UDFA question.
Emerson Griffin, who?
I'll ask. You asked the UDFA question, and I didn't answer it. So I'm gonna finish this, then I'll answer that. Then we can be good, probably. That's it on defense. Offense, Gallup. Guyton will get some random snap and they'll just chuck the ball downfield to him and hope he comes down with it.
Yeah.
Because he's tall and fast.
He's our new Keelan Cole.
Tyron Johnson. Oh, God, I forgot about Keelan Cole. Jesus. Damn, that dude. Was he on the team last year? Keelan Cole? Jesus.
Yeah. Not the entire season, I believe, but
They've
I
come a
believe
long way. They've come a long way. Oh, I forgot to mention the literal special teams GOAT, DJ Turner.
Monster. He's going to be a Pro Bowler this year, bro.
I'm going to say this. His spot might not be safe. Phelan Sanford, the dude from Nebraska, had like 50. No, it was like 20 some special teams tackles last year. The dude was like,
he's going to be DJ Turner?
No, but if there's a random guy that could like just come out of nowhere to make the roster, it's him. Like 20 special teams tackles in a season in college is rare.
Hot take, you guys. Scout potentially has a UDFA beating out DJ Turner.
I think DJ Turner makes it. He was like the best. He was the best gunner in last year. Forced a fumble, had like the 9 tackles, and then he did miss 6 tackles. That was a problem. Again, he's a receiver though, so like.
But he was around the ball. Like it seemed like every.
My other thing too though is Sanford is a safety, and like with the new kickoff rules, that gives him like that slight edge in that aspect over DJ Turner. But I think DJ Turner is probably gonna make it because, I mean, he's a special teams guy. Like,
yeah, and he has one more.
He's McMahon's guy. Like that's his guy.
And one more year in his deal, right? He has one more year.
This year, and then I think it's like an RFA, and then after that he becomes like a free agent.
Gotcha.
Kicker, punter, long snapper is the same long snapper. Because everyone freaked out when they cut Trent Sieg. That was massive. I remember that. People flipped shit.
Yeah, people don't realize how much long snapper plays a role.
You can't get 4 penalties. That was the only reason he got cut. He had 4 penalties. Your positions, you snap the ball backwards.
It was nasty work.
Yeah. Hopefully AJ Cole kills someone on a kickoff this year. I'd love to see that. Like the whole Chiefs Justin Reed thing. Just AJ Cole fly downfield and kill someone like he did with the Chiefs. He has like 6 forced fumbles somehow. And then kick returner, I think I'm gonna go bold. I'm gonna say it's Lauby and Tyreek McAllister.
I like that.
Dude, I love Tyreek McAllister.
You've been talking about him like all offseason, bro.
I saw him throughout last season. I saw him return some he's returned the 110-yard missed. No,
in the CFL or something, right?
It was a CFL. He returned. It was a 110-yard missed field goal because they do the field goal thing in front of the end zone type of deal.
Mm-hmm.
Because I remember we played the preseason game and they fucked up the thing, so we had to they were playing that 80-yard field that one time.
Yeah.
That was funny, but I think he can make it. You return a missed field goal.
Was it the Hall of Fame game?
No, we went to Canada to play a game. It was during 2019 during Hard Knocks.
Okay, yes.
And they were they couldn't patch the holes for the what are they called?
No, I remember what
the things. I can't remember what they're called. The goalposts. Thank you. And we had to play an 80-yard field.
Hey, we're a football podcast, you guys. We cannot remember what the fuck field goal posts are. What are you talking about?
I'm about to call them the pylons.
I was like, what is it? What is it?
I'm about to call them the pylons.
No, that's fucking hilarious.
Nah, McAllister could be fun. But UDFA-wise, last thing. All right. I got my little thing pulled up.
Because we signed, 17, 18 bodies?
It was 18 guys.
Yes.
Phelan Sanford, I mentioned him. Andrew Coker, I mentioned him. Don't think either make it. Joe Hanning, I don't think makes it. Clark Barrington is old, but I don't think he makes it. Will Putnam's just not good. Tulu Griffin, I think, has a good shot to make it if he can make it on special teams.
Okay.
Makes sense. Jeff Foreman, no. Ryan Caton, no. To be honest, I haven't watched either.
I like the kid Shannon. Was it Shannon out of Iowa? I know he missed a year because of the gambling stuff. I know he's undersized.
He suspended himself.
Yeah.
So I don't think he'd make it because the dude hasn't played in a year or two. So it has almost been 2 years since he last played. So I think you kind of just chill out, let him let him work on the practice
Put him on
squad.
the practice squad, load him up a little bit.
Same with Tamari Fox.
Well, Ron Stone.
I was just about to get to him. Edge-wise, it's Janarius Robinson. After that, it's like you have just freak athletes. David Ago is a freak athlete. Ellerson Smith is at Northern Iowa, which is just the village of freak athletes.
Mm-hmm.
Charles Snowden was a freak athlete. He's like 6'7" or something, right? I think.
Damn, he is?
I don't think. Yeah, if Charles Snowden is who I'm thinking
I
it
thought
is.
he was 6'7", bro. I thought he was smaller than that.
He's 6'7", 255.
Holy fuck.
Yeah, he was at Virginia, and everyone was like, "Oh yeah, this dude's gonna be a fucking beast in the pros. He's massive." And he like
Holy shit.
15 sacks and 31 TFLs with like 4 picks, and then he went undrafted and he just didn't do anything. Ellerson Smith was a 4th-round pick by I want to say he was a 4th-round pick by the Giants, actually, with Patrick.
Holy shit. I did
Yeah,
not
he
know
was.
He was 6'7", though. Holy fuck.
Yeah, so Ellerson Smith was drafted by the Giants and Patrick Graham. So he, like, there's a potential for him to have some form of, like, he's also 6'7", 260. Jesus.
Bunch of big bodies in there.
Yeah, they have you got to raise the roof.
What's Janarius?
When you make Max
6'5",
Crosby
6'6"?
short, like
What's Janarius? Is he
Max
6'5",
Crosby-
6'6"?
let's see. Janarius is 6'6", 260.
There you go. Okay.
Tyree Wilson's 6'7", 275.
God, bro, we got some big bodies to make you know.
Ron Stone's like 6'4", 250, and it's funny because Max Crosby is 6'5", 255. So like he's not even like the 4th largest human being in that room. I think Ron Stone has a chance though. He was really good at Washington State. Like I noticed him when I was watching Brennan Jackson. I was like, oh, this other dude's really good. And then I was like, oh shit, he had like a 20% win rate. I don't know how he went undrafted. I think it was measurables, but whatever. Dumb NFL.
And, you know, his dad, former Raider.
Yeah, Ron Stone.
The bloodline's there.
The Raiders have a lot of weird legends on their roster.
Yeah, definitely. We even had Greg Townsend Jr., you know, as a UEFA that came in and, you know, he didn't make the roster. But
we have Reggie McKenzie's kid.
Is he here now? Remember, he played for Tennessee, right?
Jalen McKenzie. He's on the Raiders.
Okay.
I'm like 90% sure.
I didn't know that he was on the roster.
Yeah, he's on the roster. He's a backup tackle. Yeah, Reginald Khalil McKenzie.
Holy shit. The irony that his dad drafted Khalil Mack.
And his name is Khalil.
That's insane.
I think the best shots is honestly Tulu Griffin, Amari Gaynor, Ron Stone, and I'ma say at corner Jaquan Shepard, even though I just really want the 6'4", 215-pound Rashad Williams to make it.
Texas Tech boy.
He's athletic. He is athletic.
But Shepard, man, we had a top 30 visit with him. We were really high.
We had a top 30 visit with a lot of our undrafted free agents. Gaynor had one. Johanning had one. Coker had one. Shepard had one. That's it, I think. Trey Taylor had one.
I thought Shepard was going to go drafted, though. I
think a lot of people thought he would get drafted.
Dude,
I'm shocked. I mean, I was shocked that he went undrafted. They gave him like 230, 270, I think, somewhere in that range, guaranteed, which is usually a sign that you want the guy to make the roster.
Definitely.
It's usually a sign like, oh, we have faith in you, which also means usually that the guy who got 10K makes it.
Real quick, before we get out of here, salute to Jesus. Do you believe in aliens and UFOs? And how happy would you be if the Raiders won the division and took out the Chiefs in the playoffs? Come on, man, we'd be ecstatic.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you're taking down the monster of the league. I'd be excited. And I know what you mean by the aliens and UFOs. Did you see the story about Max and Spillane?
I did not. What was it?
They were flying home, I believe, from Miami or somewhere, and they said they seen a UFO in a plane on the way back home to Las Vegas.
They was tripping on that thing they gave Jimmy G. Honestly, I mean, I'd almost believe it. It makes sense, right? Like that must. I haven't seen any of the Max Crosby podcasts. I need to watch them.
It's actually really good, bro. Like,
Yeah,
real
it
talk.
seems like it's good. I've seen clips. Aliens got to be out there, man.
So real quick. So we've been working on a few rookie interviews. We locked in one with Dylan Labe. His team is. They said be patient because they're he's just got to Vegas working through the OTAs. Trey Taylor just agreed to pull up on the show as well. Brother, I need you to come on and interview one of these guys with me, man. We got to do one of our old school. It's been way too long. Everybody's been asking. I've been blowing my little bro up. Like, it's time. Time. He's been busy, you know what I mean? But I got to get you on here to interview these players because I know you watch Trey Taylor close. I know that you are high on Dylan Labe. So if I bring him on, bro, like I would love to have you on and pick his brain a little bit too.
Easily.
Yeah. So we got to do that real quick, man. Before we get out of here, man, let everybody know where they can follow you at once again, all over the place.
So there's on my basically just Twitter, reverse my name, just Kuhn Tristan, and that's it on Twitter. Not really overly difficult to find. Also, if you just look up Raiders,
is it Raiders.Scouts now on Instagram?
I think so. I haven't used it in a while. I'm just kind of to the point. I'm more focused on Twitter just because it's easier. Right there. That's it right there. Boom. That's the Twitter. X. Sorry. Honestly, if you look up something related to the Raiders at a point, you'll see it. I'm trying to work on a couple more things that I want to add to Twitter.
Okay.
That's really it.
Well, bro, we got to do more of these.
It's the best place.
I know it's been a while. I know, like you said, you've been busy. I've been busy. We got to do more of these.
Not doing it on my laptop with this shitty camera.
Bro, it don't matter. Look. At the end of the day, Scout,
light above me.
You are one of the only people, right? There's certain people that we started here. Like me, you, Andy, Wasted, fucking.
There's another one.
Honcho.
You're currently using it. It's hooked up to your computer.
My Wi-Fi. Yeah, but you know how that goes, right? But you're one of the originals. You know what I'm saying? And people always love to hear you come on and talk on the show.
I would love to be back.
And give your input and stuff like that. I just want to say, bro, thank you so much.
Someone in the comments. That's all I want.
Thank you so much for pulling up tonight, man. Real quick, salute to my guy, man, YH. I'm not even going to try. Thanks for coming by, Scout. Appreciate it, Graphk. Fire. Let's fucking go. Salute to S. Dot, my dog. The thing I love about seeing Scout on the show is that he really digs and researches about Raider players. For real. He's about that life. Talk that shit, Scout and Graphk. Salute to my guy. Brother, I'm going to call you sometime this week. I know the season's just going to start.
At work. Let me know.
We got to get back together. Once again, you guys, follow my brother on Twitter, Tristan Kuhn. Go support him. Go check out his articles. Phenomenal articles. And we're going to get out of here, man. It's 1:30 in the morning Eastern time, 12:30 my time. My sons are over here looking at me like, what the fuck are you doing, Dad? So, but other than that, we'll be back soon, little bro. Once again, I appreciate you so much. And everybody on Twitter, there was one guy that said, stop calling him little bro. This is my little fucking bro. Stop playing with me. Stop playing with me. It's my little bro. Love y'all, nation. On the way out, wipe them feet, hit them thumbs up. If you're not subscribed yet, hit that subscribe button. I appreciate you guys so much. Scout, little bro, have a wonderful night, man.
You as well.